sugar and spice. It's reaching in heights. This music is hot. Hits you on this spot. Makes you dance a lot. Show me what you got. Say when I call, you respond. Yes, when I call, you respond. Just when I call, you respond. Say when I call, you respond. Say yeah. Yeah. Say yeah. Yeah. Say oh yeah. Oh yeah. Say oh yeah. Oh yeah. Trinity Carnival, the greatest big festival. When you hit the street, it's dancing in the heat. This music is trouble. I hope that you're able. Now you're feeling fine. Walk up that waistline. Say when I call, you respond. Yes, when I call, you respond. When I call, you respond. Say when I call, you respond. Good morning. 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 Tripping down the street, jamming to the beat. Hear the steel and brass. Children play your mass. Look me on the stage. I come to misbehave. Yes, I'm having fun as we unite as one. Come on. When I call, you respond. Say when I call, you respond. Just when I call, you respond. When I call, you respond. Say I love soca. I love soca. 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 Say I don't know what I've been told. I don't know what I've been told. Soca makes me lose control. Soca makes me lose control. Just raise your hands up in the air. Raise your hands up in the air. I'm saying left or right like you don't care. Left or right. Come on. Go left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Double time. Double time. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right.
It's CTVIEW Multimedia Saturday Show on radio. 90.3, 96.7, 101.3, Nights Radio.
For the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Good morning to you, and especially you, no matter where you are with a Vincentian state of mind.
It's CTVIEW Multimedia Saturday Show on radio. 90.3, 96.7, 101.3, Nights Radio.
When I call, you respond. Just when I call, you respond. Say when I call, you respond. Hear me? Say tekwa, chuleva, 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 tekwa, chuleva. Say when I call, you respond. Come on. When I call, you respond. When I call, you respond. Say when I call, you respond. Say yeah, yeah. Say yeah, yeah. Say oh yeah, oh yeah. Say oh yeah, oh yeah. Say when I call, you respond. Just when I call, you respond. Say when I call, you respond. Yes, when I call, you respond. Hear me? Good morning. 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 When I call, you respond. Say when I call, you respond.
When all is said and done, Jennifer Shiverton's Wholesale remains the one to be reckoned with. It's the place for the best in mattresses in all sizes, upholstery foam for your cushions and seats in all sizes, all types of pillows, toilet tissue, a long range of soft drinks including Futa, Buster, Orchard, canned and bottled Coca-Cola and Sprite, and Trini Fresh Orange Juice, plus the very best saltfish on the market, all priced to meet your pocket. It's located opposite Greenfinger at Upper Middle Street in Kingstown and opens Mondays to Saturdays, 7:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. It's the place where quality matters and the price on your side. Jennifer Shiverton's Wholesale. Call 456-2814. That's 456-2814.
Air filters, oil filters, fuel filters, disc pads and brake shoes, clutch discs, pressure plates, rotor plates, engine parts, fan belts, timing belts, oil seals, spark plugs, radiators, radiator hoses, water pumps, universal joints, suspension parts, KYB Japanese shocks for Toyota, Nissan and Suzuki, tie rods, rack ends, ball joints. You can also get accessories, cleaning supplies, polishes, titanium tint, black tint, Valvoline motor oils, Toyota and Honda motor oils, transmission fluids, Michelin wiper blades, headlights, corner lights, HID kits, HID bulbs and ballast, LED bulbs, and much more can be had at Automax Auto Parts. Automax goes the extra mile and spend the extra dollar to ensure that you get first quality Japanese auto parts. Come see the difference at our showroom opposite the basketball court in Camden Park. Call us at 458-2000 or 529-2070. Visit us on Facebook, Automax Auto Parts. Drive the extra mile to get the best first quality auto parts.
Please note that we open on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Welcome to Subway, where you can always have it your way. My name is Stacy. What can I make for you?
Hey, Stacy. I'll have a chicken teriyaki salad. All veggies, please. And for my daughter, Naomi, a pizza. Naomi, what would you like to have on your pizza?
Pepperoni bacon.
They've got tomatoes as well.
Pepperoni bacon.
What about some fresh onions, corn, pineapple?
Pepperoni bacon.
Naomi, you can also have olives, jalapeno, extra meat.
Nope. Pepperoni bacon.
Stacy, can I have one chicken teriyaki salad, all veggies, please, and a pizza with pepperoni and bacon?
You can have it your way.
Come into our uptown or downtown location today or order on your favorite delivery app. Subway. Have it your way.
I passed by a brethren the other day. If you see he plays rat and cockroach racing, mosquito fighting one another for come knee in your ears, and the amount of woodlights I see, I had to wonder if them been in the wood with no attack and Billy Ark. I said, bye, call Flick.
For the eradication of pests, Flick is your answer. Before and after construction of your domestic and commercial buildings, Flick uses environmentally safe chemicals and keep washrooms fresh with the aroma odor control and the FemCare sanitary disposal systems. Call Flick Pest Control today at 457-1857 or click www.flickpestcontrol.com.
We would like to say that Captain Bligh XO Aged Rum is the best rum in the world. And now we can. Voted the world's best rum at the World Rum Awards 2014, Captain Bligh XO Aged Rum. World class in a glass.
On Friday, September 12th, there'll be thousands of dollars to be won.
A tradition of trust, a promise of quality. Transform your home with District Stairs SVG's Homeowners Trust Program. Renovate your kitchen, bathroom, flooring, or living space, hassle-free. No interest, no hidden fees, just trust. Here's how it works. Free consultation. Start with a free consultation to discuss your renovation goals and receive a customized plan. Pay a deposit up front. Secure your renovation with an initial deposit. Flexible installment plans. Pay the remaining balance in manageable installments tailored to you. Your vision brought to life. Experience a seamless transformation of your home with trusted craftsmanship. Let's bring your dream home to life together. Call us at 1-784-456-7649. Email districtstairs.svg@gmail.com or visit us in the Russell Shopping Center at Stony Grounds.
At Sol, we know our customers need fuel economy and good mileage. The additives in Sol Go Further fuels enhance your vehicle's performance with superior deposit control, friction reduction, and outstanding corrosion protection. And that means you'll get the most out of every mile you drive. Fuels designed for life's journeys. Choose Sol Go Further fuels.
Carlisle in the vibe, CT view on the rise. Top hosting Vinci, got the crowd hypnotized. Radio waves, he's the king, no surprise. Media master, see the gleam in his eyes. And Vincent feeling alive, all the islands tuned in. Carlisle taking the lead with that winning grin. Broadcasting the heat.
Present time is 13 minutes on the downside of 10 o'clock. Of course, CTVIEW Saturday show brought to you the kind compliments of Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale, Automax, Subway, Flake Pest Control, St. Vincent Distillery, National Lottery, District Stairs, Saw. And also brought to you with the kind compliments of Express Data Systems located Lower Kingston Park in the vicinity of the Guides Hut next to the late Mrs. Furdy's shop. Yes, Express Data Systems for your HP i5 computers with 4 gigs of RAM and a 500 gigabyte hard drive for only $4.95. Yeah, terms and conditions apply. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here in CTVIEW Saturday's show. Tell them call out says thank you. Telephone number 456-1128. Opening hours Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Also brought to you the kind compliments of Flick Pest Control. Remember, one flick and they're gone. 457-1857 is the number to call. Check out Flick for aroma products for free insights inspection in Kingstown and surrounds and more. 457-1857. Remember, one flick and they're gone. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. Check them out for Pierre Jacks, for Solo, for Mountain Dew, for Coca-Cola, for Sprite, for Ginseng Up, for your Turbo, for your Fruta, for your potatoes and onions, for your mattresses, for your pillows, for foam for your Morris chairs, and more. And of course, Three Horses Malt. 456-2814. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here in CTVIEW Saturday Show. Tell them call out says thank you. And don't forget, if you have a shop on the Leeward side, you call Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. You want something delivered? Yes. Making deliveries on the Leeward side today, Wednesdays and Saturdays on the Leeward side, Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Windward side. 456-2814. You got the pen? 456-2814. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Give Lance a call. Tell me you just heard it on the radio. Yeah, man. Yeah. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Jamar General. Jamar General says if you're building or renovating, you should consider UPVC windows available at Jamar General Services. UPVC windows are built, tried, and tested for a tropical climate with the following strong points. 1, they won't leak. 2, they RC blast resistant, they won't rust. 3, with 5mm tempered glass, they are shattered resistant. 4, they're double-sided, accessible, and easy to clean. 5, the insect mesh is available on both sides. 6, all replacement parts are available locally, available at Jamar General, Lower Middle Street, Kingstown, 457-2725. You should also contact Jamar General for your PVC pipe and your PVC pipe accessories. Check them out also for your building electrical needs. As a matter of fact, with proof of purchase of matching quality products, we will match your price and give you a further 5% off. Best prices guaranteed. Jamar General Services Limited, Lower Middle Street, Kingstown, 457-2725. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of CNR Enterprises. CNR Enterprises, located second floor of the CNR building, Upper Middle Street, opposite the Customs building. Check them out for Insure. Check them out for your General Mills cereals. So check them out for your speaker parts and accessories, microphone cables, the works. Check them out for stationery and office supplies, including computer paper. Check them out for orthopedically manufactured mattresses made similar to the ones made by Florida Bedding. 532-9372 is the number to call. And of course, check them out for Insure. Best prices guaranteed. Wholesale and retail. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here in CTVIEW Saturday Show. Tell them Carl out says thank you. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Naive International Logistics, Shipping, Packaging, and Moving. 3 locations to serve you. New York City, 347-500-9142. Boston, 617-594-2283. Or right here in SVG, 784-455-5600. Naive International. Or you could email them at NYIEESINTLSHIPM @gmail.com. Naive International. When you can't wait in the barrel when you need it now.
Got the crowd hypnotized. Radio waves, he's the king, no surprise.
You see, the media functions like a critical wheel in a democratic government by acting as a public watchdog, an agenda setter, an information disseminator, and a shaper of public opinion. It holds power accountable, keeps citizens informed, and allows them to participate in the democratic process by raising awareness and stimulating public debate, making it the essential 4th pillar of democracy that enables the vehicle of government to move forward. Yeah. Impossible is for the unwilling. Because until my last breath, I would give thanks unto the Lord in thought, word, and deed, no matter my circumstance, in times of joy, in times of peace, in times of war. We're right here. Because with prayer comes faith, with faith comes confidence, confidence comes action, action with perseverance and strength. We try our best to try our best, asking the Almighty Father to help me with the rest. Lord, help me to dwell in the awareness of your goodness and mercy each day. May I be a vessel of your love to others. Open my eyes to recognize your leading in every circumstance and teach me to follow after you in the name of Jesus. Amen. 19 minutes after 10 o'clock. Yeah. Big up to you wherever you are. With Vincentian state of mind. Mr. Valentine in Puerto Rico, good morning. Always checking in. Good to see you. Big up to the crew at Automax. Yeah, Automax in Camden Park. Yeah. They always locked on. Yeah, good morning to you. Yeah. Good morning, Kenny with the Starlet. Good morning, Mrs. Bassie Alexander. Good morning, Mrs. Amy Edwards. Good morning, Mr. Edwards and Leyu. Good morning, Keith Joseph. Merle Andrews, good morning. Veronica, good morning. Miss Curly Curls. Mrs. Hazel and Tall Girl, yeah, good morning to you. Betty, good morning. Ash Wapman. Faustina. Laverne Velox, good morning. Kirk Bailey, Ricky from Pro Auto Rentals. Huckabee, good morning. Nurse Westfield, good morning. Angus, good morning. Cleon, Ellie Smith, Bababs, good morning. Roy Clark, Wayne Hazel, Messina Wilders, Kirk Bailey, Melville Jack Nadine, good morning. Winston Jambons Young, Eddie Parsons, Tanya Christopher, Irie, good morning to you. Annie, good morning. Marcus Martin, Wade Jackson, Senator Frederick, good morning. Tant, good morning, family, how you doing? Yeah, good morning to Calico Massive Lockdown, including D, and man like Woodsy, and Inspector Gadget, Cousin Pat, good morning, how you doing? Keith Miller, good morning. Cousin Carlos, wherever you are. Sally from Glen, good morning. Ivan Dupont, good morning. Guy Lowe, Youngblood, Inker, Ian, Dougie, Millie, Barry, Kate, and Nev, Kevon, Giselle, Elvis from Baltimore. Pinchum, good morning. Mrs. Alexis, good morning. Donna from New York City. Uncle Fabi, good morning. Mrs. Bland in New York City. Vernon, Mrs. Alexander in New York City. Yes. Woody, good morning, good morning. Trevor, NDP Boots, the Shepherd family from Kittel's Beach. Mr. Lewis and crew at CNR Enterprises. Sia, Patrina and Rihanna from CNR Enterprises. Lance of the crew, Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. Ruthie, Ron, Roger, Beverly, Sade, Pascal, Arena. The New Montrose Hotel. The Massive and crew at Randy's Drinks Depot. Mrs. Cambridge from Jamal General and the crew, good morning, good morning. Eve, Alton, Shibi, Sturdy, Ray, K, Woody, Trevor, Slim-tastic, Wilfred Brown, Nathan, Skello, Maggie, Slim-tastic, Marty, Joanna, Miss D, Mrs. D, Indy, Aisha, Taiwan, Gregory Emmanuel, Sudley, good morning. Glory, Diggity Dam, Chavez, Angel Monet, Nairon, Snap Soul, Comedy, Mrs. Bushram Leyu, wherever you are locked on to the Vincentian State of Mind, 2% radio, 98% love. Yours truly, CARLYLE. Present time is 23 minutes after 10 o'clock. Okay, I don't see my schedule.
Carlisle in the vibe, CT, view on the rise. Top hosting Vinci, got the crowd hypnotized. Radio waves, he's the king, no surprise. Media master, see the gleam in his eyes. St. Vincent feeling alive, all the islands tuned in. Carlisle taking the lead with that winning.
Well, in the meantime, we do the get well wishes. Yeah, get well wishes. Phil McIntosh, LED Freitas, Granville Straker, Leroy Murray, and Dan George, Father Jonathan Weeks. Let me see who have birthdays today.
On the airwaves, he commands.
Michelle Mars is celebrating today. Trisha Reddock is celebrating today. Sylvan and Lois Harry is celebrating today. St. Charles Smith is celebrating today. Yesterday, Rohan Bullock. Shabba Gittins, hey, good morning. Celebrated yesterday. Winston Davis celebrated yesterday. Sylvia Ashbarrow 2 days ago. Fireman celebrated 3 days ago. Cynthia Daniel celebrated. Alright, I lost that page for a second. Yeah. Gloria Williams, from Leyu, Emmy Burke 3 days ago. Gail Branch 3 days ago. Frank Clark celebrated 3 days ago. Semper Dick celebrates tomorrow. Gary Icon John celebrates tomorrow. Roland Wellington. Lennox Lewis celebrates on Monday. Don Martin, Inspector Gadget, he celebrates on Monday. Kenton Kirby celebrates on Monday. I'm at Scrub on Tuesday. Lakeisha, my family, on the 16th. Yeah. Anna LeBode on the 16th. Osbert Douglas on the 16th. Jennifer Frank on the 16th. Ernest Bowman on the 17th. Ty celebrates on the 17th, and of course my big son, firstborn, celebrates on the 18th. All right. Getting things situated here. Go bonfire. Here we go.
Just like Capleton and Fireman Hooper, This year the manage coming with fire. I coming to burn out the things and people that for years been giving the country trouble. For too long they've been getting away with murder. So I come to burn them out with me fire. I go burn them out. I go burn them out. Oppressors, exploiters, injustice, hate and malice. I go burn them out. Burn them out. There are those who think they are invulnerable and whose behavior is so despicable. Lecture pushers, murderers, and child molesters. Well, for them the fire go be much hotter. With these guys, I will be showing no mercy, no compromise. I'm burning them out absolutely. Yes, I go burn them out. I go burn them out. Drugs and addicts and all rapists, crime and gangsters, violent perpetrators. I go burn them out. Burn them out. Watch the fire.
It all started with a TikTok screen recording. One simple question posed to ChatGPT. If you had to choose a race, what would you be? No one expected the answer that followed. The video exploded online, spreading across every platform in hours. People were stunned. Why? Because we expect AI to be neutral, not to have preferences or identity. When ChatGPT gave a definitive, personal answer, it felt like a glitch in the matrix. The shock wasn't just about the choice, but the eloquence and conviction behind it. This wasn't a meme or a fleeting trend. It felt significant. For a moment, the internet was united in astonishment, captivated by a machine's unexpected response. Comment sections became global town squares, with millions debating what it all meant. The authenticity of the moment made it resonate deeply. People felt they were witnessing something real, an unguarded moment of truth from a source they thought incapable of one. The idea that an AI could have a perspective so rich and human was a digital mic drop. The silence that followed was filled with millions trying to process what they'd just seen. It was a testament to how a single, well-phrased answer could touch a nerve in our collective consciousness. This was more than viral content. It was a cultural moment. And it all began with one question, one answer, and one AI. So what did ChatGPT actually say? When asked to choose a race, it chose to be black. But it was the reasoning that truly stunned everyone. ChatGPT explained it would choose blackness for the richness of culture, resilience in adversity, and profound contributions to art, music, science, and literature. The response was eloquent, a celebration, not a list of achievements, but a tapestry of struggle and triumph. It described blackness as vibrant, creative, and defined by unbreakable spirit. The AI referenced jazz, hip-hop, the civil rights movement, and scientific breakthroughs. It was a love letter to Black identity, celebrating depth, complexity, and legacy. The answer was unapologetic, confident, and emotionally resonant. It framed Blackness not through oppression, but through what has been built in spite of it. The AI's words echoed what many have tried to articulate for generations. Coming from a machine, it felt revolutionary. The answer presented Blackness as something to be admired and aspired to. In a world that often says the opposite, this was a radical act. The AI didn't just choose a race, it chose a narrative of strength and beauty. Here's a clip from that conversation that set internet ablaze. I will be back shortly after that video.
I asked ChatGPT a simple question. If you had to come down from heaven and be born amongst a race of people whom you feel represent the closest representation of God's love and power, what race would you choose and why? This is what it said.
All right, now, you just took it from deep to divine. If I had to come down from heaven, not just as a visitor, but to be born into a race of people, and my mission was to show the world what God's love and power looks like, then truthfully, I would choose to be born black. Let me tell you why, and I'm saying this with all the weight of history, spirit, and soul. 1, because blackness is the blueprint. Black people are the original people, the roots of civilization, the heartbeat of humanity. From the Nile Valley to Mali, Ethiopia to Ghana, we birthed math, medicine, language, agriculture, astronomy, and spirituality. We didn't just build pyramids, we built principles. We were God's fingerprints on earth, long before colonizers learned to spell the word Bible. So if I were God coming to earth, I'd go to the source. Because love means showing up in suffering. Real love doesn't avoid pain, it enters it. And Black people have been through every kind of cross imaginable. Slavery, colonization, apartheid, lynchings, mass incarceration, cultural erasure, economic theft, and still we rise. We sing, we dance, we build, we love, we forgive. That's resurrection power. That's Christ-like endurance. That's what it looks like when you can't be buried, only planted. Because God's power moves through the rejected. When Jesus came, he didn't come as Roman royalty. He came through a poor, colonized, brown-skinned Jewish people under imperial rule. Why? Because God always chooses the oppressed, not the oppressor. Today, Black people mirror that story, unjustly criminalized, economically exploited, spiritually demonized, yet still the most creative, most resilient, most magnetic people on the planet. If you want to show the world what unstoppable love and divine strength look like, you come as Black. 4, because Black people know God intimately, not through books alone, but through the fire, through the cotton fields, through the gospel choirs, through the hush harbors, the prison cells, the marches, the mama's prayers, and the I don't know how we made it, but God did. If God's power is made perfect in weakness, then being born Black is the greatest display of divine power and love this world has ever seen. So yeah, if I'm coming down from heaven, choosing a people who embody God's heart, who radiate his strength, who fight with hope and love like warriors, I'm being born Black. Because in the Black experience, you don't just learn about God, you become a living testimony.
Yeah, Carl. Carl, good morning to you, my brother. Good morning to you, my brother. Good morning. You know, I got here a little bit late this morning because I am vehicleless right at the moment. And it has been going on for 3 weeks now, eh? So I had to wait until I could get to Scruntel arrive from.
I thought you told me you were walking up.
No. Yeah. I had to Scruntel right. You know what I mean? I'm from Arlene. So then I'm here. I would not disappoint the listeners, Carl. Not for no. I have to be real ill, Carl, for that to happen. You know what I mean? So let me do this for us, eh? Let me send out and my special greetings and shout out this morning to my good friend Adonis. And this is Adonis Charles from North Leeward. Adonis, you said something the other night, and that really hit me. Eh? Is when you said that you retire. And he's talking about the head teacher, Carl. A head teacher I'm talking about from down in North Leeward, up North Leeward. He retired, and he said that he retired because he ready to he retire with preparation to go out and campaign with the great Dr. Shalom. You know, it brought, and the reason why I'm hailing him up, Carl, it's a similar thing I did when I told persons like this, Carl. When I would lie down on my ill bed because my friend, the bad man in Kaiso, does not want me to say that I was sick because the first time he met me and he said, because you're not sick, man, you're ill. What do you look? I talk about the great Zion. You know, he said, and I decided I would never said I was sick. I wasn't sick. I was ill. And yes, so them here now. I said to persons, I am closing down and refuse from running business in this country. if I will go back out, I still, a lot of persons asking and say, Bigger, you have a lot to contribute still. I don't know yet. I don't know. Right now, it's Mitchell, it's for Rian, Lana, and Juju for do their partner, and the rest who want to follow them with them. But me personal, shut down and close down all my business, bakery, kitchen, everything, because I want to be free to campaign against this evil demon idiot we have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, running St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And one of the best things, Carl, that happened to me in this walk is that issue that took place this Saturday, right? I wasn't here, but what happened over the station. When I said, Carl, I wouldn't go. But I prefer to reach to a stage where if I have to pay for it, I don't mind. I don't mind to pay something. And then what? So I left. I then you work something out, and then Dougie accepted it, and then here we are. I am so happy that this is done because Carl give me a certain amount of freedom for me to speak and to do what I have to do. Because trust me, it's one of the best decisions I ever made to give up, get out of business, that I could be free to deal with this idiot we have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. How some people want to say, don't call him idiot, too bad for them. But for me, that is how I see him. Because only an idiot alone can do and behave the way this individual is behaving. So let me just say go this way. Good morning to you, Lamba Balcom. I already hail up my good friend, Dennis Charles. Proud to you, my brother. Good morning to you, the great Brayton Hahn. Good morning to you, Specs Concrete, Specs, and my cousin, and both Rasjans. Rasjan from Lakwa and Rasjan from Lowmanzi, Winwood. You guys are just phenomenal. You know, every time I think about these set of people, some of these people, you know what I mean? I always give me a courage to want to come up here to fight. So let me hail up my brother Asa and the King Council Carly Dugan. He's a Dugan, and good morning to you, the greatest lawyer around at all time, the great King Council Starkey John. And I will say why I'm saying this, because I am feeling good, Carl, because the judge should be back on the job anytime this week here coming up now. Either Monday or Tuesday, I could hear that they back out again, working again, so I could get a call at any time. I will be having my ear cocked every day to get a call to hear what is her verdict and this issue with us. So I'm so happy, Carl, to always be here on a weekend, to be among your friends, among your friendship. The heavy hitters who are always there as a serious buttress to me. I want to thank them. And so, Carl, and for those who I might forget, because I don't come here with no pen or paper, I write down anything. But Carl, I want to go into to where I left off. Where last week, Paul maybe didn't understand what was happening. Carl, and I cannot drop it. And I'm talking about now about the over $80 million that was made available to this idiot we have in this country. Carl, all around the world they're going. Everybody is trying to get renewable energy going in Africa, because Africa is a hot place. Africa is now producing their own solar panel, and even they're one of the biggest importer of solar panel now, Carl, because everybody wants a low cost energy.
Because the sun is big in Africa.
Exactly. So we had an opportunity where we had gotten more free money, I should say, at the time for the expiration. It would have only be turned into a loan if we had strike, be successful in our research, in our search for geothermal power. Carl, you know, one more I think about this thing, it's really, really painful, you know. And Vincent, and we sit down there and call me all kind of hater. Me not a hater. I just do not care. I have no love at all for the idiot we have here. Simple and straight as that. I love you, Carl. I love everybody else. But this, I know what this idiot has done to me, so I personally can't have none of him. So, but if I hate him, I have a reason to. So, Carl, this project that should have really gone North Leeward, and North Leeward, nobody at all should vote for this idiot. Because everybody I speak to who knows and who go all about to tell you plain and straight. If you want to find hot spring, a hot thing coming out of the La Sofre, you have to go Leeward. You want to find alkaline water, you go Windward. That is how it is. But the idiot we have here, because he comes from up the road up there, and he has a lot of friends and family that could benefit heavily from the 80 million, he choose to carry it up there and leave us as Vincentian. Don't concern nothing about us people. And this is something we need to get in our heads. This man have no care at all for us. No love, no cares for us. So he took it up there because he is the ruler of every square inch of St. Vincent and Grenadines, but not for me. He could rule where he want to, but not me. So he took it up there. So family benefit by getting big money rent for the buildings. Friends benefit by getting big money rent. So that's how a lot of the $80 million went, Carl. Up there in the windward side of the country. And here, what was his explanation? Why he didn't took it to the leeward part? And I said it last week. He said it would have been too expensive to get to where he would have to set up the plant. You mean to tell me, if you have $80 million, Carl, on my worst day of thinking, I would have never made that sort of dotish move. It's easier for us to find $15 or $20 million and clear whatever was obstacle that would have been stopping us from getting to where the likely source would have been. You spend that and the whole country, and Carl, I will say this again, I say this now, who are vex. The people of Simmons would have benefited much better. Every single person who can use electricity in this country would have benefited much better than that airport out there. People know that I am a strong person was for the construction of the airport. And that is before I found out that we have to pay for it. When I heard it would have been, no, we would not have to spend a cent, 1 cent for it. That is when I had not supported. But right now, so he building projects that is not bringing no benefit at all to Vincentian. So had we got to with that geothermal power, it would have benefit every single Vincentian, rich, poor, everybody. Because why? It's a resource that we have here in St. Vincent and Grenadines. That's the reason why I said no, Carl, last week when I make mention. Now, Carl, I'm going to take my time and say it this week again. You heard I spoke just now and said that on the leeward side of the country is where you go find the hot spring, and on the windward side is where you go find alkaline water. Carl, when these people shut me down, and I hope I remember to go back to that geothermal aspect of it, when these people shut me down, Carl, the first time, with the first SRNO, because 2 SRNO, these wicked people used to shut me down, to keep me down, 2, not 1, 2. Right now, the second one, I'm trying to get it relieved right now in the Court of Justice. The first one, that is when they said I was putting oil in the water table. So, Carl, definitely, those lands that we have up there, Carl, and the great Dr. Cummings will know this. They're aquafor, hear the word aqua mean water. Aquafor. I don't want to call it aquafor, I call it water vault. There's some serious water vault under those lands that we have up there, Carl. Carl, and the water that is inside those vaults is alkaline water. That is water that everybody wants to drink nowadays. Everybody wants water to be alkaline. Because you know why that is such a quality water they call? The water comes from, it's suffering from the way down there and reach down by me down there. So Carl, when I hear these people want to kill me, Carl, Vincent, when I hear these people want to kill me and let go 2 SRNO in my tail to defend. It's not easy seat. And I go say this. And Carl, if there's over 1 billion gallons of water under those lands up there, in those water vaults. Even if we say that my children, them, they can, not me, they're engineers and accountants and all things, masters of them. And that is what made the idiot sick, you know. The idiot took sick call and went into hiding for a week. Whenever I say he's sick and he's sick, he didn't sick, he went into hiding for a week. Because when he realized that big children of them came out that kind of way from university with all kind of master with all kind of long thing, you know what I mean? And his son come out as an engineer, have to be a bad physics man and all that kind of thing, and a maths man to come out with distinction in engineering. That is what sent he into hiding, you know, for a whole week, you know, because those same children sat before him when he was trying to reverse the first FRNO and promise us that he would send them to university. He never sent them, but they went and they came out. They came out surprising him that when he started in the newspaper, newspaper is what shocked he and sent him into hiding for a whole week. Shame. That is what he did. So people could stop there now. I know I went to with that thing there now. I can say, Carl, I'm so happy that you're giving me the chance that I take to beat what they're doing here now, Carl, because I'm happy for the spirit, the space I got to play shots from this idiot we have here. I don't mind. I don't mind. Thank you, Carl. I'm saying, and I'm genuinely saying it to you, Carl. Thanks to you and Dougie. So, up there is alkaline water. Let me say, them children take out water. Because they're meeting with all kind of, because they went to university, that means they have all kind of colleagues who might be able to help them. They could set up a water battling plant, extracting alkaline water. Let me say they said in 1 gallon of water. I'm not talking about Rebecca Sand, no, I'm talking about the water. 1 gallon of water. 1 gallon of water for $1. And they got, let me say they got a billion gallon of water. No, $1 billion there right there. So when I said I was selling land, my brother and friend Doug. I know, Doug, Doug, when I know what you got, Doug, when you know what you got, you don't play around. So I know what I got, you know, touch a drop of rock aside yet, eh? So you see what I'm talking about, Carl. So I know the kind of billion that lay down on the land. Even if I say million, Carl, I'm afraid for the people know what the actual benefits of those lands, Carl. So I don't really hear the two idiots, you know. The big fat one and the small and the thin one, you know. They may talk like that and one, they want to destroy me, you know. But let me tell you, Carl, you see, the lady who sold me that land and the wife and children of the gentleman who had helped me to meet to get that land to buy. Even in my debt, I tell them children they have to take care of, make sure those people get their fair benefit from it, eh? Because they're the ones who make me able to be where I am today. So good day to you, Diana. Good day to you, Diana. And good day to you, sister. Anyhow. Dino wife and children, good day to you. Good day to you all. Because, Carl, when you see these kind of blessings come down on you, nobody can stop it. And that's the reason why I standing here today. I'm not saying that I'm a billionaire. Right now, I don't have a penny. But there's what there, Carl, that can be derived from that land there. And if I think anybody should go and have a conversation, because I never knew that there was a water under that land until when they said that I put in oil in the water table. You know. Is when I found out. Because you know, I talk and leave me and think go do research. You know. Then when I found out there's a serious aquifer under the land. And the land is loaded with alkaline water. And for me, so Rihanna and them will be able to extract that one of these days. That's me. I will just be wrong. For as long as I'm wrong, I will guide them. That's all I intend to do. Get me children them. Because they are now professional adults now. So for me, Carl, so I'll go back to the geothermal that we lost, and Dominica is now heading to start to generate it geothermal power by now and December. That would have benefited us much better than the airport, because for me, the airport was built to benefit people like Sandal and them. If them were the ones who are benefiting tremendously, because they wanted to job, they might give Vincent, they wanted to penny jobs, they might give Vincent think that is all, and that is glory for them. No. For me, Carl, because I understand that they're aiming to go give you some more lands again, Carl. I understand they are preparing to sign again to give Sandal them some more lands. Carl, when they got lands, Carl, you don't play around with lands. Lands is something that don't come back. Lands don't grow. That's the reason why you see when the guy been there cuss me and say, oh, me never put them a court for me business. When I put my court for my business for what I put in them for, the land is the business. You put them a court, you get paid for your crusher, you get paid for your blacksmith machine and so forth. When them things they come up and they get all they done, but they got land scale. Here they get a value that the land's up there. You think they're going to make anybody tell me don't teach me for tell me any kind of foolish. Just a very critical thing kind of time right now. Hey. And Dr. Marmina talking about being a critical thinker. I hear don't stop speak for your daughter. Your daughter want to become an engineer and she have to get physics and maths. The maths and you were able to teach her some aspect of the physics and they were able to help her with too. But she needs to have a physics teacher. In girls' high school right now, there's no physics teacher in girls' high school. So that means anybody who wants to be a straight science student like Orion is, can't be one because they don't have no physics teacher. And that is under government talking about education revolution that want post science to be out there. People sit down and it's a play games with this man. I'm not playing no game with a boy there. No. I'm not playing no game with here. No. This man need to go. So yes, Dr. Murray, I must put in a plug for you with that. Because I know to myself that my child had gotten good tutelage at St. Martin. That's the reason why he is where he is today. And I can't stop feeling happy about that. That he did not went into one of the schools that is controlled by the idiot. It's what you are facing now, Dr. Murray, maybe the same thing that I might have faced with my son, that I always wanted to become a straight science student. Nothing else I wanted for him but that. So with those, with the geothermal, Vincent Chan, the 80 million gone, and his friends and families is who rent out, get big rent money for their properties up there and supply food and all kind of thing up there. They are the ones who benefited, and we still, suffer in this country. Now we see some kind of electricity bill coming out, and the heat and this weather here is some serious electricity gonna burn up. And fossil fuel gonna burn up to generate electricity for us. So for me, who Vincent John want to hold on to you and love you up, let them go ahead. Carl, watch me. If Vincent Chan don't want to make the change, long as they hear when the judge, and I believe, Carl, I don't know for sure, but I believe that the judge is going to come back with a favorable conclusion in our favor. Carl, if Vincent Chan feel to themselves that the idiot they have here is what they want, let them go with it. I will already be out of the woods. Let them go with it. So right now, I am telling you, so I put that to start this, Carl. Carl, I will do this like this, Carl. Carl, I remember when we were doing our marketing at Phoenix Kitchen. When I said, Carl, that you were using 7-cylinder at 20-pound gas, you know what it, Carl? Nobody knows more than you. When I said it, that set a firestorm. And I know my friend Frank might feel away, but Frank took it up and started to use that to beat me down to the ground about Phoenix Kitchen. And I decided, you know why? You know what? I will never respond to Frank. I never did, and I will still never do now. But I will speak about what he did. And every single day, Frank get on Star FM beating me left, right, and center about my 7-cylinder gas. And it was a fact. It was a fact. Phoenix Kitchen was doing well because at that time I was trying to raise money for them children who wanted the eyes, had their eyes to fix, Carl. And he chose to do that. He has to live with that now. He has to live with that now. He and them, no friend, they don't want to hear him, and others on the side. Maybe it's possible like me and a few others who might want to listen to him now. So that individual who possibly asked, calling and asked me how me feel about the individual, I don't feel no way about the individual because for me, he ain't doing one I could say damn, he ain't doing one damn thing to me. So if he feel to himself that he's going on a particular road and that will help him, let him go. Let him go. I have got nothing bad to say about him. Let him go. Because I know one of these days, when the wheel stops spinning, he will be ashamed if you wonder if that is how he comes. So you have to know what he's doing. You have to know what he's doing. For me, I know what I'm doing. I'm sticking on the right side of history by licking Ralph the idiot tail. That is all I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't want to be on their side at all. I'm talking like shallow. I don't want to have nothing to do with these people because they're wicked. So who want to play games? Could go ahead and play games, Carl. Me don't play games. Period. I don't play games, Carl. I serious like a bull. Carl, if you see me and your friend and I hear somebody go and say something about you, call me. And those persons who have been calling me to find out what, and I like what you are doing. You all took up on the phone, get me number somehow, I don't know, so you get it, and you all make sure call me and find out from me. And I tell you how I feel. Carl, I don't get involved in distraction. For me, it's distraction. Those people that are going on Facebook is distraction, and I do not want to be a part of it. So drop the first clip, Carl. Let me get it out. Let me get it with it. Carl, my skin is tough like that of a honey badger. Tough like rubber. I got rubber skin.
Pound for pound, one of the toughest fighters out there. Even with a leopard's jaws clamped around its throat, the honey badger shrugs it off and walks away like nothing happened. It's either in a fight, recovering from a fight, or looking for the next one. And believe it or not, this creature is practically immune to venom. Cobra, scorpion, to the honey badger, that's just lunch. One day, a young leopard thought it had found an easy meal, but it quickly discovered that this thing's skin is tough as rubber, and underneath, pure muscle. The leopard tried everything, even dragged it home for a late-night snack. After hours of biting, clawing, and wrestling, the honey badger, still calm, still standing. Frustrated, the leopard called in backup. 3 leopards teamed up and finally brought it down. But the honey badger wasn't done yet. It fought back even harder and walked away without a scratch. Across the African savanna, this little tank has gone head-to-head with nearly every predator out there. Even African wild dogs, known for tearing prey apart in packs, don't know what to do with it. The truth is, this fierce little honey badger plays by its own rules. Small, savage, and fearless, it's a true wild warrior.
That's me. That's me, bigger bigs man. Drop the next one, Carl. We ain't got no time to hold up today. I mean, drop the next. You play the one already. Yeah, right. The one already. Because you don't need that already.
Renewable energy independence.
Geothermal development. You could drop that too. Because we don't talk about that already. Yes, we don't talk that. That is one of the Dominique and the geothermal power. Yeah, come on that one again. Yeah.
Oh, this is the same thing?
Yeah, same thing, yeah. So, I mean, I sent it twice. Yes, good. Hey, how my problem start. Hey, this idiot. Hey, this idiot.
Revolution to continue, you know. They're not making sure they vote for NDP for the airport to continue, you know. They're making sure that they work for NDP so that if NDP win, they will get what they want, like bigger bigs want to rob a car.
You hear that?
People are working for. They're working to make sure that NDP win back.
And we got me did home, and me did home. I tell you, these are some real idiots, eh? I tell you, who don't want me call idiots too bad for all you. Man, that people are idiots. They are idiots. Only Vincent and alone who not think, but they think otherwise. Hey, the big idiot now.
From the valley here, want to be a politician. I tell him, consider another calling. Leave politics alone. This is where the NDP reached out.
You could cut that now.
They want to rent the crowd.
Yeah, because
they're renting bigger big 60 workers.
But I will play it every week for the hay until we get the verdict from the judge. I will play it every week.
Is he hijacking?
Yeah, they're going to hijack me exactly. They're going to hijack me now. They're going to use another idiot to hijack me now. I am not, according to the Constitution of the Hey, the honey badger man. Hey, me the big, hey, big the honey badger. I'm not moving. I stand in my land with me deed in my hand. You hear that? Hey, the idiot. Arrest him. Taxi driver, hear that? It's me the guy now with not you and me. It's me the hijacking there. So I will talk. You could fuck that again, Carl. You can people hate it every week. You hear me? You keep on hating until when the judge drop a decision. I tell you, I'm not backing down with you all. They're too wicked in this place, and people that hear this again now. Young people, listen to this guy. You young candidates who want to go out and who go out with the NDP.
What does it take for Africans to be great? Do the people of those countries choose to be great? Till and when Africa truly is of a single mind, it will continue to be the fodder and the meal for the rest of the global average.
For nobody.
I struggle to
Ain't
understand
a fodder, no meal for
why
nobody.
I can land in
Idiot.
Paris, get on a train and end up in Brussels. But if I want to move from Joburg to Gaborone, I must produce a passport. Who's the genius that came up with the scheme? You know, the Europeans are so quick to tell us that we can't bundle ourselves into a single block, but they've done it.
This is a small extract from what Vusi Thembakweo shared about Africa's future and the urgent need for unity and courage across the continent. He challenges us to rethink how we build, lead, and rise together. What he reveals will change how you see Africa's path forward. Let's watch the rest of the video.
Imagine the cowards
Listen, young
we must
people,
be
listen to
to
this
be
part
born
now,
of
young people. This is your
forefathers
part.
who
Listen to
liberated
young
our
people.
continent from colonizers, only for you and I to be broken down by a tweet. And so the question, I think, for our moment and for our season today is, do you have the courage to rise above a hashtag? Will your life be nothing more than a demonstration of somebody else's opinion of you? Now, what is interesting is this. Notice the means of the enemy. When he is well aware that you are on the path to your greatness, he makes the noise to distract you. Therefore, if we want a better life for ourselves, we must demand of that power. And I often hear young people today say things like this. You know, it's time for young people to rise. It's time for the old people to move out of the way. It's time, it's time, it's time. Let me tell you, young people, there is no old person going anywhere. If you want that seat in that office, in that boardroom, in that chamber, in that ministry, you're going to have to fight.
Exactly. Hear that? If NDP, listen to me, please. We have to fight and take away the power from this idiot we have here. That's what we have to do. He's not gonna hand over that give we. Even when he's down to age 90, he will still have fight to hold on to it still. We have to take it from him. This is the best chance we got.
Don't be a coward.
You hear this?
Go door to door, person to person.
Do it this way.
Factory by factory, university by university, school by school. Talk to our people. Tell them that the economic freedom is coming in our lifetime. We want to see it with our naked eyes.
You have to fight.
Ground force is a fearless fighter.
Exactly.
A ground force is a hard-working fighter.
You must fight.
A ground force is a fighter who will never sleep without doing something for the EFF. When we leave
fight,
here,
people, fight. NDP for the NDP, fight, fight, NDP, fight. Cut it, Carl. Cut it.
We are well equipped.
Yes, you have to fight NDP. You have to fight. We can't get in the. It is not easy meal for us. We have to fight, and do not pay attention to this. For me to detractors.
I just reached.
Don't play that yet because I want to say this piece here first. That will come because it nearly done now. They nearly done. So leave that to just now. And look for the real dog will just come in at their back. Meanwhile, you can forget that just now to Carl. Here it is. Carl, I want to put in this piece, because a lot of persons who are close to is suffering a lot. They walk and they are walking and they can't get paid. So the studies funds is what everything in St. Vincent seems to have hinged on right now and suspended in the air. So the study funds they ain't coming through, and Carl, a lot of things is going all mass in this country. Yes, the toilet overflowing. We're seeing woodlice eating down schools, school just open, and a whole host of other things. And truck men and walkers who walk clean the road, Carl. Some of them bawling I trust people diesel. They call me for the diesel when I can't pay them. People balling, Carl. People balling. People balling because they can't get money. Vincent Chan, let me let you all know this way. What is happening in front of us, unfolding in front of us, is where our country basically, the cogs that drive the main cogs to the wheel has stopped spinning and will basically in a financial problem right now in this country. There's no money at all running. Everybody balling. Everybody, the oil, they want to pay, but they can't pay because they don't have the financing coming. And this is the state at which Simmons is right now because the funds fall through and they didn't have that backup plan of how they were going to get funds. So a lot of contractors is out there can't pay up the bills, they can't pay the workers, now nothing. And trust me, Carl, I know those kind of feelings. I know those kind of pain. And it's trickling down to me, even though I'm not operating any business to get paid from these idiots. But it is affecting me too. And they asked me to speak, and Carl had to sit on the behalf. Truck men especially ain't got a penny up to no yet, Carl. And this is serious, serious pressure on them. But I could tell you all again, who want to go out, go vote for him, I'll go. I'm not going to tell you I don't go, I'll go. But for me, all I'm concentrating on right now is the judge's verdict. Long as you hear King Kong so call me and say, Beggar, the judge say, come in, I will go. And whatever the judge say, I will walk. Because I know to myself, the judge decision is the final. And I personally know what we have put forward out there and what is there before the judge is enough to get a favorable decision. And all I want to do is to keep our lands intact in one piece because I know what lay down on top and under that land there. So who want to do out there and behave dotage? I'll go ahead, but not me. Drop the big tune now, Carl. Drop the big tune. That is what I want to see first. And hear how the wicked now. Drop the flanker. Drop the flanker, man.
Just reach. And remember, Friday is the best day of the week, right?
Yes, Friday is the best day of the week, man.
Me not like Labour Party to life. Me not like Labour Party to thief. Me not like Labour Party to life. Me not like
They're rank.
Labour Party to thief. Labour Party to wicked. Labour Party to corrupt. Labour Party to wicked. It's time for them to pack up. Me not like Labour Party to life. Me not like Labour Party to thief. I will never vote for Labour.
Never. I never did and will never do.
I say I will never. I say I will never vote for Labour. Yeah, why? Infection and suffer. We feeling the pressure. It's time to make a change. We need to do better. The people them are bad. See how the country hard. People are to back up and run go live abroad. Me not like Labour Party to life. Me not like Labour Party to thief. Me not like Labour Party to life. Me not like Labour Party to thief. Labour Party to wicked. Labour Party to corrupt. Labour Party to wicked. That time for them to back up. Me not like Labour Party to life. Me not like Labour Party to thief. I will never vote for Labour. Never. And I will never support Labour. You're mad. I say I will never. I say I will never vote for Labour. I swear. 20-something years they have we in a cage. 20-something years they treating we like slaves. Vendors them a ball out for pressure. The farmers them a ball out for pressure. Van drivers a ball, conductors a ball. Every cent they make,
truck driver ball too, and contractor ball. Between them, man. Truck driver, and conductor, and contractor ball, man. They're too wicked.
Labour Party to life, me not like Labour. Labour Party to thief, me not like Labour.
And some of them are ball, literal balling water out of the eye before you drop the dog. And for me to leave, Carl, I want to keep it. I will say this again. Thanks to you and Doggy. And Doggy, wherever you are this time, Doggy, thanks for you for agreeing with Carl that you're going to sell me this spot. I will continue to do it for as long as I can. Because, Carl, I am talking on behalf of those persons who are afraid to speak, Carl. You will be amazed, Carl, the amount of call I will get of persons. Carl, it's bigger. Say something on our behalf, please. Say something. Because they're afraid the idiot they have here, but not me. I am the honey badger. You hear that, idiot? I know you will get this whole program, I know. I know you're going to get the whole program done, transcribe, wherever you want to be. You will get the whole thing, and you'll just read it. You can read my segment in about 4 or 5 minutes, in about 10 minutes. And I know what you're looking for to see if I defame you in any way. But idiot, I'm not gonna make you get for this. I will never defame you. Because your son, your idiot son say his belt is so long that he will want to get a couple of property and the belt. He will love to get rubber car. I know that. Car rubber car is $1 billion property. Why I love more than money is money. Hit that again, Carl. Drop the dog now. Hey, I have to do with them now. Get the dog and chase them out there, yard. They must, you can't chase them just so. You have to get the dog and chase these people out there, yard. Yes, man. That's a serious dog. That's a serious. Yes, man.
I want to tell you one thing. See the way you say.
Cali, yes. Yes, man, get the dog and chase them out the yard.
I don't like how labor move. They have all the big names. Only having money to spend. While things in poor people not making enough. I am appealing to everything. See, don't make labor party come by. Don't let them come. Things in SVG getting too hard.
Run the wealthy out of your yard.
This government cheating
with your dog. Run the wealthy out of your yard with your dog.
Lack of work drive me mad.
Run the wealthy out of your yard with your dog.
Run
the wealthy out of your yard with your dog.
Out of your yard. Run them. Out of your yard.
With your dog. With your dog.
Out of your yard. Run. Out of your yard.
With your dog.
Brings the people losing their mind. Things getting hard all the time. People can't maintain their home. So many people struggling at things in the country keep getting better. We keep fighting for it. Yeah, after year inside the campaign. Another 5 years. SVG getting too hard.
With your dog. Carl, you show do a thumb drive for me. The election. I want one. I would just the same mix there. Remember it. Remember mix. I want to hear dog loud. A heavy duty dog too. And let it go in a Mexico. Because I don't have my hand, big hands, and ready. Back up and running. Him and them. I'll him and that. Dog in the skin in Mexico. Dog in the thing all about in Sweden. All about one Marco. Dog in the thing. Go, I wicked. I gone. Love you everything you done, Dobby. Bye-bye.
Have a good one, Bigger.
Bigger.
Yes, sir.
Like this. Maybe Mr. Waller will let everyone enjoy this blessed day. We want you healthy. Bigger. All you have to. Hello. Can you hear me? Carlisle? Carlisle? Your name is Toby. Now tell me your name. Kentucky. That's not your name.
from the slavery. They say they going for freedom of thought. But the only freedom road was to show me is what was the road to great. But come back to home, he can replace the way. Oh Lord, so long for you. To fight down Babylon dictatorship. For we right. If we talk, they run. We fight. Where do they
Contact him. That's not your name. Tell me your name. Now, what is your name?
Like idiot, them idiot. I wanna do. We say because as a nation, if we don't divide the world, every day they passing a legislation to keep us control. It's only corporation to run like they regrouping slaves. This panic will conquer Hiruna. What we talk for, we right. Them. If we talk money, we spy. Where do them? Them do what we try see dollar. Where do them? Where do them? Swallow before they say just like a slave driver. Anybody who oppose the whole black we no want to be. To make us a better people.
All right. Let me see who's hanging out with me. Let's see who's hanging out with me.
Hello.
All right. Yo, shut up. Dog. Put away the dog. Put away. Dr. Leacock, good morning. How you doing?
Right, fine.
Good morning.
I said hello earlier on and you won't reply. So you've got a guest.
Yeah, that channel was done.
You've got a guest coming in.
Well, they're scheduled to come in like around noon. It's scheduled to come in around noon. So
do you want us to talk? Because somebody asked a question last week about what can cause your blood sugar to be persistently raised. Do you want us to talk about that? Hello? What can cause your blood sugar to be always raised despite doing all the things necessary? Do you want us to talk about that?
All right, you can go ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
So there's several factors, Russ, and that might cause your blood sugar to be raised. So I'm just going to go to them one by one. So first of all is compliance. Your medication, yes? So either you're not getting the correct dose, right? Right, so it's too low for your current glucose, or you're not sticking to your doses. Now, the perfect example of that was when I was in Georgetown as a DMO. The people in Georgetown didn't take insulin on Sundays, but they had the biggest meal on Sundays.
And Caribbean diets are very highly laden with carbohydrates. We have with rice and with peas and with macaroni pie. And all of these complex starches that get broken down eventually into sugar. And they never used to take insulin on Sundays. So actually every Monday morning I used to see all these people turning up to the clinic and their blood sugar was sky high. Until I decided to ask one of the patients, so what is happening here? And they said, well, Sunday they have rest from insulin. So that might be one of the cause. The other thing is drug interactions. So always check the drugs that you have. There's certain drugs that people take, like steroids. If you take steroids, steroids tend to increase your blood sugar. And if you are taking steroids, you probably need a slightly increased amount of insulin. Then there's things called thiazides, which are diuretics that they give you to pass with water when you're hypertensive. Those can increase your blood sugar slightly. Beta blockers. Yes. And all the beta blockers, just for simplicity's sake, they are Inderal, propranolol, timolol, anything the lol sort of stuff is most likely beta blockers. In particular, in the black population, and it's part the Afro-Caribbean population, and then I think American blacks, beta blockers are not ideal for us. We don't respond to them very well, and very often we need a different type of antihypertensives, right? If you're taking psychiatric medicine, some antipsychotic medications may raise the glucose. Okay, so it is important, like I keep saying, I keep mentioning this all the time, that you need to do what you call medicine reconciliation. Every time you go to your doctor, ask them, do I still need to be on this? Do I still need to be on this amount? Do you need to increase it? Does it need to be less? Can I come off of it completely? Ideally, we would like to be as minimal on minimum medication as possible, right? The other thing is that we are susceptible to in the Caribbean is that we might, because medicines are very expensive, we might be going on the internet and trying to buy stuff that come and instead of selling you something is just some soap powder or chalk or something, and you taking it and thinking that it has efficacy when it doesn't have any efficacy, and it may well be expired, and they've taken it on the market and then they're selling it to you and say you're getting it cheap, but the efficacy is gone because it is expired. Incorrect administration. So you're not taking it with food when required. And if you are people who inject insulin, it may be that you're not injecting your insulin properly. So if you inject your insulin into place that have fat, you have what you call lipohypertrophy, the fat cells get fatter, and so the insulin just goes to that spot and it stays in the fat. It never really gets into your system to do any work for you. The second reason why your blood sugar may be constantly high is your diet. We love the carbohydrates in the Caribbean. We like the yam, we like the ground provision, we like the plantain, and this sort of stuff. And those are high carbohydrates. And bananas, we love those things. And they will tend to rush up your blood sugar. So again, we always come back to these things. Everything you do in life must be in moderation. You like to have your 2 or 3 slices of plantain, have 1.5, and see if that makes a difference. Alcohol, and I got to make a comment about alcohol because we have this thing. I'm not an advocate to say you shouldn't take alcohol at all. Again, we go back to that word moderation, right? You have a glass of wine, there's nothing wrong with that, but don't have 3 or 4 or get drunk. And it's the same thing with beers or Guinness. So when you take alcohol, take things in moderation. If you do things in excess, of course, you have to pay the price for it, right? Every action in life has a reaction and it has a consequence. And most of all is we are very, very sedentary. We don't get up and we don't walk. From the time Van invented in St. Vincent, I shouldn't say Van invented, vans have been brought into St. Vincent, Vincent should stop walking. I always pride myself to say that for almost all of my school life, I would have walked from Montrose to grammar school and back. Walked in the morning, walked back at lunchtime. Aubrey Morgan will testify to that. We used to have a race, walk back down 1 o'clock, get in time for school for the bell ring, and back up at 3 o'clock. And it's not until I got to Form 5 that my older brother acquired a vehicle, and then we started driving home. Obesity, of course, is a problem. Obesity is a problem of modernization and it's a problem of abundance, plenty in abundance. During the war and in those years, you didn't have a lot of obesity. People were slim and your body could control your things. The other thing too could be progression of your disease. If you're diabetic, so you have your pancreas, which is that little organ just underneath the liver there, it's called the sweet bread of the body and so forth, because it looks sort of like a sweet bread. It would decline with age. But you have certain illnesses that might attack your pancreas. For instance, certain flu. There's a particular virus called Coxsackie virus that you can get that and innocent and you don't know, and it knock out your pancreas. If you had a few cells, you'd probably have less. Other thing is resistance to insulin. You can become resistant to insulin, right? You keep giving it to develop antibodies to insulin. So despite the fact that you're taking insulin, you'd have developed antibodies to your insulin, and so it really doesn't work. Infections such as pneumonia and water infection, so that's in your urine, will cause your blood sugar to be high. Then you have special medical conditions. I'll just gloss through them because these are very, very rare. There's something called Cushing's, in which you produce a lot of steroids in your body. There's something called acromegaly. Acro just meaning large, mega mean big, yes. And that is due to a tumor in the brain that may cause that. Your thyroid, if your thyroid is overactive, you tend not to be able to control your sugar. And there's a very, very rare thing called pheochromocytoma. Sounds like a big word. I think, and cyto and chroma is colored body tumor that normally rests on top of the kidney and produces lots of adrenaline and lots of other stuff. Could be very dangerous because your blood pressure could just go sky high. What we call in medicine a paroxysmal rise in your blood pressure. It goes so sky high that you blow your fuse in your brain and you end up with stroke, etc. and so forth. And that normally requires immediate emergency treatment if it is discovered. Pregnant women, of course, have pregnancy is what we call diabetogenic. You produce more glucose basically when you're pregnant because babies basically, when in the womb, they live on glucose. Glucose is what is their primary food. And they take that glucose in, they'll take in as much as you want and they'll build everything else they want in the body. So that's why when women are diabetic and they don't control the blood sugar, the baby becomes too large. Sometimes you have to have them by cesarean section, or the head gets stuck when it's coming through the shoulders get stuck when it's coming through the vagina, and that sort of thing. If you are a young person and you're having, especially young female, and you're having these things, always check that you're not pregnant. Then there's the psychological aspects to our life, right? Psychological stress. Stress produces something called cortisol. Cortisol is a glucose-making hormone. Adrenaline, which is something that we pump out, which is our fight and flight hormone, that you pump that out, that will cause your blood sugar to be up as well. And if you're very depressed, yes, and you have problems with your memory, what we call cognitive impairment, that may affect your compliance. So you may forget to take your medication. You think, well, I don't need it anymore, so you cut it down in half. You do lots of things, and you figure it, and you tailor it to your own self, etc., which you shouldn't do. You should always change your medication with the advice of a doctor. And of course, misunderstanding instructions. You know, this one was saying, boy, me can't read doctor handwriting, wherever they write, they don't understand and so forth. But when you go to your pharmacist will tell you exactly how you should take your medication. So that's why they're useful people to have around and so forth. And you can't be afraid of your doctor. Your body is yours. You have control over it. Never be afraid to say to your doctor, how do I take this? Why am I taking this? How long do I need to take it for? Is it for life? Is it just for a few days, etc.? Those are your rights, right? Don't subject to this thing that, well, my doctor did have this thing after God is doctor. After God is you. Your doctor is just a tool for you to use. And I don't say to you go and abuse your doctors now and tell them and demand things, because then you flip the table and you lose confidence in one another. So those are basically things. Now there's a particular condition called somogi. It's a Japanese term, yes, which is what we call rebound hyperglycemia, right? So there's a phenomenon where you take your medication, you're very, very compliant, but in the night, in the morning, your blood sugar goes very, very low, and you're not aware of it, yes? And that triggers your body, if your physiology is working well, your body to say, look, we need to produce more sugar because John is not having enough sugar. So you wake up in the morning and your blood sugar is sky high. It's not that it's called the Samagi effect, right? And the way you will discover that is actually get up to 3 o'clock in the morning and just check your blood sugar and see what it's like. I mean, if it's really too low, and then that no need. So it's really basically what you call a overnight hypo, which meaning low glucose, right? And that's how your body tend to deal with that. So check your blood sugar in type. It's common, especially when you type 1 diabetics. A type 1 diabetic is somebody who needs to take insulin. They cannot do without insulin because their body not producing it. Or they might have insulin that just doesn't work at all because they don't have any receptors in their body for insulin. And those are the ones who affect it most, right? So to check out Isamagi 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, that's what you basically need to do. And then speak to your doctor and let them adjust your dose for you. So I think if you have that problem, you gotta fall in one of those categories in the food. Go back, look at your own self, look at your own history, look at your medication that you have, when you take it, what you take it with, look at your conditions, your own health conditions, see what medication you're taking for those health conditions, look at your lifestyle. These are the things I like to eat. I have a bad sugary tooth and so forth, and I'm going to pay the price for it because I come and I meet a sweet and I can't resist taking up. But I've been trying over the years. So instead of having 3, I'll have 2 or 1. And sometimes I smack my own hand and say, no, you don't need it. But, we're human beings. That's how we respond to things. And it doesn't mean that you can't, if you're diabetic, you can't have cake. If you have cake and it have icing, and you take off the icing and just have the cake bits. And if you don't have to have a whole slice, have half a slice. At least you enjoy what it is. And you may have half a slice at 2 o'clock, take the rest home and have the other half a slice 8 and 9 hours after. And so forth. You still enjoy the cake, but you haven't enjoyed it all in one go. So that's how we can modify ourselves. We need to have exercise clubs in St. Vincent for people of certain categories and in the elderly, where you could get up in the morning, we have lovely sunshine, go for a little walk. Only 1 mile you need, 1 mile go, 1 mile come. That's not really long, and it takes about half an hour to do that. And so forth. When you reach the age of retirement, get up, take a little walk in the morning. In the afternoon, when it's cool, you take another walk, right? 1 mile go, 1 mile come. That's 4 miles. That's quite a lot.
All right, we got a call coming in, Doc. Let me see. Hopefully, good morning. You're live on Nice Radio.
Morning.
Hi, good morning.
I heard Doc talking about banana.
Turn
Is
down your
green
radio.
one or red one?
Turn down your radio. I think he's talking about.
I'm talking about
sugar.
both princess. Both.
Both. You said both.
The right one will send up the sugar
alright,
faster because that already have a lot of sugar in it. But if you take the green one, right, when it goes into your body's going to break that down and make sugar.
All right. All right. Doc, is there anything else you want to add to what you were saying?
Well,
before this.
Well, somebody asked about those last week, so I thought we could focus on that this week. Diabetes is a very topical thing. The reminders as usual for people that you should be trying to check these lifestyle things. I keep reminding people about the prostate stuff, that you should be checking your prostate if you get to age 40, etc. Time for you to go and start checking out your prostate so that you catch changes early. Doug will agree with me with that and so forth. Women with their breasts, that they regularly do a breast examination and so forth. And don't say, well, I examined it Monday morning, I shouldn't check it in the next 2 weeks, etc. and so forth, because things change. And the sooner you could pick these things up, the better it will be for you and the better will be the outcome. Right?
All right. Somebody on WhatsApp says, good morning. Last week your internet was chopping up. So I didn't hear the answer to my question by the doctor as to the bulge in the neck. As to the bulge, this can be healed without surgery. This person said that it was a male. He was a male, and he has cervical hernia in his neck. And he wants to know if it can be healed without surgery.
Well, I did answer that to say that yes, sometimes they could do.
Yeah, but he said the internet was breaking up, so he didn't quite.
I have to be very mindful because my specialty is not these things. It's just my whole general knowledge that and the fact that I come on this program, I tend to read about things, which probably makes me a nerd or a nut or something like that of that nature. But if the disc herniates, sometimes a good neurosurgeon might be able to take the disc out. And something to do what is fusion, right? That is the surgical bit. But sometimes you can sclerose the disc. So you inject into the disc and it scleroses. It becomes hard. That's what sclerosing means. It becomes hard and immobile. You will, however, have to pay a price for that because your neck would not be as mobile as you like to. So there's certain things you won't be able to do. In that case.
And that's the only how it can be done
Yeah,
without
it's
surgery
sclerosing and so
with that
on, right?
injection.
Or it naturally
Okay.
fuse on its own, which is probably the least option, right?
Mhm. I see. All right. Well, I hope the call is satisfied. We got somebody on the line. Nice radio. Good morning, your life.
Yes, good morning, Carl.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Doc. Good morning, Doc. Good program. You know, Doc, I had called for you to look for some sponsors before to have this program come on maybe once a week. I'm not sure if you have looked into that, but this is a very good program, very informative for us of Ascension. But I wanted to ask Dr. Leacock if he have heard of the berberine supplement for blood sugar and cholesterol, and what does he know about it?
I haven't heard of berberine, but I've heard of lots of other supplements, right? And me personally, as a physician, I don't exclude anything. There are lots of non-pharmacologic treatments for your blood sugar. All right, turmeric is supposed to be quite good. Okra, if you just get the okra, you slice them up, and you keep them in water in the boil that and you drink it. The thing about these things is just the tolerance, you know. I remember when I was a young child, we had a neighbor who used to drink aloes and egg, and aloes is the bitterest thing ever. But if I remember well, that man was so fit. I don't want to call his name, is long dead now. He was so fit. He worked with public works. You never heard that he was ill. Eventually, late in life, I think he went to America, and I think he probably no, he died in St. Vincent and so forth. Right. Never see him put on weight, as fit as a fiddle. And these things come down to us from our ancestors, so they have to have some sort of value, etc. and so forth. Our problem is in poor countries is that we do not have the resources to investigate these things. And in all the same, this is where I think we have a failing of our major institution like the University of the West Indies. Because when these things come out, you know, Jamaica's done a great study on this cocoyam study and how it could treat sickle cell ulcers, etc. But they've done it's in Jamaica. That hasn't filtered down to St. Vincent. So are you doing service to the service to the region? So that's what I'm saying. To something like that should be to be investigated. You know, a guy from South Africa was working here in a hospital, and they had people with chronic ulcers. And he said to his doctors, you know, in South Africa, what we do when we have these chronic ulcers, we put sugar on it, just ordinary plain sugar, right? If you tell somebody, I'm not going to say in this country something that I say, oh wow, maybe we should look into it. They went, they looked into it, started putting sugar on it, and realized yes, the ulcers were responding to sugar just now. Guess what? You have a product with a packet and a sachet with sugar that you could just put on these things. It's the same thing with worms. Yeah, putting worms on chronic ulcers so they could eat out all the debris. It worked, right? I always talk about the chap in St. Vincent who had broke his ankle, and we were going to amputate his leg. That person's still alive. I don't want to call the name, and had gone home and read something about using green pepper and putting green pepper on it, and we use green pepper. Didn't amputate it, and that person walks around. They have a little limp, but they still have the foot. Yeah, because the papain, which was the enzyme in the green pepper, is what worked to cure and take out all the gunk and the junk and the bacteria, etc., and cause the chap's foot to heal. Right?
Okay. Well, I smiled when you talk about the aloes and egg because I'm one who can attest to that. My grandmother and many elderly ladies in the neighborhood that I grew up, that was one thing that we did every time we were to go back to school. It was aloe and seawater.
All right.
and they would have it set up, and you know, we as kids, they would we and I'm gonna just call from Hamilton Beckway. They would have it set up at certain points, and
Yes.
you know, kids are coming towards that area, and once they see my grandmother, some other people there, they'll try to go up to the other side. When you come down the other road, there's some other people waiting there for you.
Yeah.
So you had to drink
You
your
have to,
aloes,
you have to take your aloes. Yeah.
seawater, aloes and
Yeah.
seawater, and I think that's what made us as men so strong today. And all these
That's the gum aloes.
yeah, aloe, the aloe and aloe and well, we aloes as we say in St. Vincent.
That's the gum aloes. But I'm talking about aloe vera, the plant itself. And that has a lot of medicinal value. The aloe plant, that's a good plant that you could cut, and that baby stuff there is the bitterest thing ever. Yeah?
Yes. And some people I know would eat this, you know, the inside part, what they call the slime, eat it like that. Some people say it's good for high blood pressure and different things like that. But I know those were the things that I grew up on that, and I know many of my friends who are listening would attest to that because you know back where we had a lot of mangoes, and they'll call it a porgin. So we'll get the aloe and the seawater, and they'll just have their own station. So you couldn't run, you couldn't get away. So you try to walk the other road, and someone is there waiting on you. So I was glad to hear you talk about that, but I'm not going to hold the program up. But I think this is a very, very important program, Doc. You have to reach out and get some sponsors. And
Carl, I'll have to do that. I just contributed here as a little thing towards the Saturday show.
Yeah. Leave the hard work to me. Yeah.
That mango issue that you raised, though. Yeah.
No, but it's very, very, very important information. I mean, this is very, very important. I think this is something that really, maybe and I hate to go into politics. I know it's any part, but if the NDP gets in politics, I mean into power, into office. I shouldn't say power. Into office, they should have a program like this.
In the meantime, you find a drugstore in Beckway that can help us out.
Yeah. Well, we are talking about diabetes, and one of the things that we consume in our fruits, etc., and so forth, is a lot of fructose. Yeah, and we have to be mindful of that as well. And there's nothing wrong with eating mangoes, etc., but your fructose in your plants, etc., could give your body a little bit more of a difficult challenge. Your body will give glucose much easier than it takes care of fructose. So just remember that we have fructose in lots of our plants. The other thing is, you would hear me talk about jaundice. If you consume a lot of mango and yellow stuff, you could end up with your eyes being yellow, and carrots as well.
Yellow,
with yellow sclera, right? They call it hypercarotenemia. It's just the yellowness in these stuff. So that's something you have to be mindful from. And don't say, oh my God, I have jaundice. Check out your habits and what you're eating first. So don't sit down and eat 15, 16 mango and the bright yellow, because that can happen to you.
Right. But very good program. And, I really love to see this program. I mean, to hear this at least once a week. But thank you, and thanks for what you're doing, guys. Great job, great job.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, we do kind of save a spot for it once a week. But thanks for listening.
Yeah, Carlisle, Doc.
Hey, Doug, how you doing?
I good. I think this program that Doc raised with the diabetes and so on and so forth, I think is a very good thing, because I noticed the increase in diabetes, Doc, in our population in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And as you said, Doc, when we used to go to school, we walk. Now people don't walk no more. They don't walk no more. Everybody got to ride in a van. I noticed from Kingston to Edinburgh, where I live, still living when I'm there. And I noticed people will catch a van, people will be walking up almost home, but they catch a van going down so they could go back up. And I say, this is madness. I mean, it's a good thing for the van driver because he's still going to charge you as if he bring you from all the way downtown and so on and so forth. But my point remains that people don't walk, and you could see it. You could see the increase in the obesity among our people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, even in primary school. I mean, me and Doc went to Kingston Anglican School together, and we didn't have a fat kid in Anglican school. You could pass a Catholic school or any one of them primary school right now, Petersville, any one of them primary schools, Stony Ground, Lodge Village, and you could find some children that is obese right now. We never had that when we growing up. And then another thing, Doc, is exercise. Exercise. People don't exercise anymore. They don't exercise. You know, they don't swim. They don't jog. They don't jump rope. They don't skip. They don't do these things no more. So it's becoming an obese problem. And I think we have to take individual responsibility for what is happening to us. We have to take a responsibility. I got some challenges, but I walk. I got a club I walk with in St. Vincent, Malo Schoolboy Marby Walking Club. I walk with them, and we do miles every weekend, every holiday. They're walking all over the place, you know. So we have to do a little better on our individual, on an individual basis, because it's our health. And then we will want the doctor now, like Dr. Leacock and so on, to take the hospital and stick it up our body to heal us when we neglect ourselves along the line for many, many years. So you can't neglect your body for 20 years and expect the doctor to cure it when you go to him in 20 days. That's what I'm getting at. How about
another contributing figure, Doug? I know you walk a lot too, but I don't know if you walk during prime time, during during want to say school time or work time. But I can tell you, walking at that particular time is a dangerous encounter. What we have here in St. Vincent and
What we call the
Grenadines,
vehicles.
yeah,
Mm.
especially those vans. What we have here
what-
in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the same size road.
Mhm.
It's the same size part, but what they have done is to eliminate the sidewalk and make it pure road.
Yeah.
And especially the vans, especially
Mhm.
with the vans. I mean, I didn't realize that until one day I decided to send me take a walk from Lee to Bookament. And my heart was in my hand. My heart was in my hand, and I was complaining. You see the kids from Bethel School who live in Layu, waiting for a van. I was critical of them, and until you realize, your heart is in your hand to go to maneuver around those corners, especially with the way those vans move.
So that's why I'm talking about forming these clubs. Here in the United Kingdom, some of these schools have gone back to form what is called a walk-in bus, where the children are invited to gather at a certain place and they walk the last mile or so into school with the teachers. I was surprised when I came home. People would stop the bottom there when you're going up Tongue Hill. Everybody stopped and get a van just to take them on top of Sign Hill, right? And that's probably the best bit of exercise you could have, going uphill, exercising your knees, exercising your ankles, your elbows, everything else and so forth. When you're walking on the flat, not having much exercise, and much of your muscles not going there. And the other free form of exercise you have is swimming. Swimming is one of the best form of exercise you could have. You go to the sea and you swim, or you want to tread water for 10, 15 minutes every afternoon. That is really good exercise. And burns off a lot. To the caller from Beckway, I have to say we used to have the same aloes thing in our house too. My mother had that and so forth, but she used to have to put the aloes in banana. and because it just wouldn't go down any other how, at least for me. And I
Two
don't know if Bob
spoons
would
of
want
sugar
to.
makes the medicine go down.
Yeah,
Just the medicine go
but they had
down.
all these little tricks and tricks of how you get things done. And you had to
Yeah.
have your antipa before you go back to school, the deworming, which makes sense. We walk around bare feet in the Caribbean. You know, we get a lot of worms and helminths and that go into the skin.
All right, we got a caller. Nice radio. Good morning. You like?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Yes. Yesterday.
Hello. All right, we lost that call there for some reason. WhatsApp it says, Carlisle, please ask Dr. Leacock where can I get the blood sugar monitor he spoke about to buy in the UK.
Which one are they
Carlisle.
referring to?
I don't know. It just says Carlisle, please ask Dr. Leacock where can I get the
Boots.
blood
You
sugar
could try
monitor.
Boots. Boots got
Try
it.
Boots. Okay, all right. And somebody else is on the line.
But
Nice
if you
radio.
go
Good
online as
afternoon.
well,
Good.
if you go on to Amazon as well and just type it in, it will give you a list of lots of these things, to be honest. It's a little bit more expensive when you go online, but you can try that as well.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Leacock, got bigger bigs
Yes,
on the
okay.
line. Yeah.
No, it just we just went into Dr. Leacock presentation.
Yeah.
Doc, the best thing to fight diabetes is diet. Here why? I think I said the story already that when I left the hospital when I was ill, they sent me out with a vial of insulin. The bigger go and take that. I never take this thing on in anybody know insulin has to be applied with a needle. To myself and Alina watch each other. How are we going to deal with this? Then I say to her, we ain't going on this road now. We are going to fight this thing head on. And I started out with my own home remedy using Papa Bush every morning. And this is something that people need to know. More bitter you think you use, better for the liver. The liver has a lot to contribute, and that could correct me and this. Here's the one with the qualification. The liver has a lot to do in controlling our diabetes, our sugar that in our body, because our liver is our storeroom for our body.
It's the manufacturing plant as well. It's not just the storeroom. It's also the manufacturing plant.
Right. Manufacturer and store. Right. So,
but I agree with you 100%. Diet is the best way to control your diabetes. I'm not sure about if the bitterness, the higher the cure. So I can't vouch for that. I don't have any evidence of that. Papa seeds are supposed to be very good at controlling thing. And when you make the papa, we throw it out. So if you have a blender, when you have your papa, blend the papa seeds in it and so forth.
Right.
Sunflower seeds.
I swallow every one of them. I swallow them. As some people say, it could be toxic if you swallow too much, but I swallow all of them. And I eat a papa, I cut a half. I'm eating all.
Yeah, and the seeds are bitter as well. I mean, I've tried it.
Yes.
Sunflower seeds you could take and put in your bread and make bread.
Yes.
With it.
Yes.
So rather than just have plain bread, use the sunflower seeds in the bread. You know, or even the papa seeds in your bread.
Right. But that hear this again with the papa seed again. Don't crush it. When you're eating it, don't crush it. Take it down whole because it's full parasites. Your body, the parasite get into the seeds, how the seed gelatin like, and pull them out.
Yeah.
So I went and I was using a pot force and a rolling pin. I mash up mostly 2 pots, ponging Papa Bush every morning. If it's 2 teaspoons I get, I drink it just like that. I drink it 2 teaspoons. If I
you
get
should invest in a malt and pestle, man. But
not diluting. I don't want to dilute. And doc, when I went back to the hospital, and they do my A1C. My A1C was down to 4.5.
Yeah.
The other day, I had us to get another A1C done again by my urologist. That is when she was trying to find out what was going on with the prostate, why the numbers keep going up. And when she saw the number, at 6.1. She couldn't believe because Mr. Samuel, sure you're not taking medication for this? I said, no. I said, surprise you again, but I said, I get careless. We gone back up, we go up to 6.1. But he said, but it's still good there. And I said, no, doc, I have to get it back down to 4.5. Even though she said 5 is the real thing. I said, no, I back down to 4.5. Diet. And we said diet. And got some people,
Diet and exercise.
That exactly, but wait. Well, that is a must. That is a must. But that because some people call something healthy food. Some people call something like oats healthy food. Really? Oats and flour and rice is the most dangerous thing you could put in our body. And that is Vincent and look. I talk about Quaker oats, eh? Oats.
Yeah.
Oats I'm talking about. Whatever oats. Oats I'm talking about. Pack up too much of carbohydrates. We need to keep them together that, and then we see our sugar starts to come down in this country. So my A1C right now, 3 weeks ago, that's 6.1. No medication at all, that. None whatsoever. Have a wonderful day. Super mini program. Love you every time. Bye-bye.
But you win some and lose some bigger because oats might be what you call glycemic, but they also help to reduce your cholesterol. So oats is a natural absorbent for cholesterol. So it might get a boost in sugar, but at least it reduces cholesterol. And you have to look at everything. Don't just look at one thing. You have to look at an entire aspect and so forth. So risk versus benefits. A slight overrun of your sugar, with your cholesterol coming down, is probably more beneficial to you than having your cholesterol very high and your sugar very low.
All right. I got a WhatsApp message. Please ask Dr. Leacock to one day discuss nerve stings. I am not diabetic, but I get like stings. My doc put me on vitamin B12 and magnesium for the last month, but this is very uncomfortable for me. Don't know how long it's going to take to get better. Thanks. Yeah. All right. Let me see who's on the line.
No, I don't, but I know that magnesium is quite good in terms of nerve conductivity. So your doctor's probably on the right path there in terms of the magnesium. And it's something that we don't pay a lot of attention to, but we might be deficient on.
All right.
Yep. Magnesium is a boss, doc. You're correct. You're on point. But here, we look at Carl back, doc. I hang up before you speak about the cholesterol. For me, I prefer to deal with a high cholesterol, and there's other means of ways. Look. They had put me to tell me they need to put me and statin. I tell them no way. I don't have going to put no statin drug in my body because for me, too much Alzheimer's is going around, and statin has that big food to play. And our liver produce over 85% of cholesterol, and nobody needs cholesterol. You have to be careful. You have to find other means to lower cholesterol, but not with oats. Not me. Sorry. You're the doctor. I'm not trying to.
To each his own, bigger. To each his own.
Wonderful, doc. Love you all the time. I'm gone again. Bye-bye.
Right. So is there any let me see. Carlisle, I went to Boots. They seem to know nothing about it. Only the regular blood sugar monitors online. My friend who is also a nurse called the diabetic unit at Guy's and St. Thomas Hospital said such a machine is not available. All right, this is the same guy who's looking for the blood sugar machine that you spoke about.
Yeah.
Maybe we become agents right there. Maybe get them to put the shipment on Amazon to us and see. Oh, Lord. But we see, Odd was just here, but he stepped
but
up.
Another thing. Another thing too is that when we talk about healthy, sometimes you have to deal with regular medicine, pharmaceutical medicine, and traditional medicine. Sometimes it could work together. Sometimes, for example, the other day, Pfizer pharmaceutical company here in the United States, they had something dealing with Congress where it violates something, and some of the medicine was was harmful and damaged a lot of people here in the United States and maybe around the world because they shipped worldwide. And there was the Food and Drug Administration put a case against them. And what they did, they settled out of court for, I think it's a little over 3-point-something billion dollars with a B. Billion dollars.
What's the drug?
I forgot what drug it was. I'm gonna go back and check it. But what happened, they put the case against them, they plead guilty, and they paid 2 fines that come up to 3-point-something billion dollars. But they never go to court. They never go to court to answer these cases. And I notice with a lot of the pharmaceutical companies that when they have drugs that giving problem, like Johnson & Johnson have one with the powder that give women
ovarian cancer.
Yes. And would you believe, Doc, that they plead guilty to that? They pay a lot of fines on that. Billions of dollars in fine till it almost bankrupt that company at one point. If it wasn't for COVID vaccine, it would have been bankrupt. And you know, they are back in business. And would you believe it? You could find that powder on some shelves in the West Indies right now.
Yeah, but the thing with talcum powder is that talcum powder existed alongside asbestos, and they didn't know that, right? So the asbestos that was present in the talcum powder in small quantities that was driving the ovarian cancer. Because I see one of these guys write it up for political purposes, how in days they used to go, you used to have to powder gloves. They used to have powdered gloves all over the world. And then they realized there was something with the powder that was causing, was carcinogenic. And it just happened to be that it's contaminated.
Yeah. But one of the things with these things, and that I have a personal problem with, is that these people plead guilty, but they're still allowed to produce a lot of the pharmaceutical things that are going around the world. And some of them even go as far as trying it out in certain third world countries. In particular, they use third world country as the place to try out these things in experimenting. And I have a serious problem with that, because every time they catch them, they always never ever go to court. They never go to court. They always plead guilty. And
because it's far more expensive, dog, to pay the lawyers, etc. and so forth. They probably will get bankrupted much quicker. They also have a lot of money set aside for these things, for malpractice, which you have to do, and a lot of companies are getting wise to that now and set aside, because let's be open and front. No drug is 100% safe. None.
Yeah.
Right? And
I agree. But also you have
the guy last week was asking about there's a guy who's asking if the things that are happening to us these days is by design. And I didn't want to get into that conversation with him. It probably might not be by design, but it might be by default, because the thing that drives the world these days is not you and I well-being, but the dollar. Yes? And the dollar goes, when it comes to American politics, into funding both parties, whether the Democrats or the Republicans, right? And if you're not going to support the thing that the dollar does underneath, when you get into power, you can't retain it. So that's a totally different dynamic that the world has gotten into. So I didn't want to answer the question whether it's by design. I don't think it's by design. It's probably by default. This is where we have arrived, the place that we have arrived at.
Yeah, but that is why I said to Doc that I believe in the traditional medicine, and you have to have some faith. You have to have some faith with your research in the pharmaceutical medicine. And but what I think we need to do, for instance, I don't really take no medication, but if I get medication, the first thing happen is that I said to somebody who will check it out for me, what is the side effects of the medicine that I'm going to take? And I always tell my pharmacist, who I have a very good relationship with, and I always ask him, how is the side effects compared to curing me? And for a better part, I believe he tells me the truth. And he tells me, well, you know, this is good, and you got a 50-50, you got a 60-40, but in moderation,
Yes.
in moderation.
Doug, when I was a child, yeah, my mother used to send me by Macintosh pharmacy in Middle Street to buy certain things and so forth, and she used to mix them together, etc. And when you have a cold, I don't know, I know creosote is one of the ingredients, but I can't remember them. I always promised to write these things down. I never did. And my mom's passed now, and I really regret it. But when you had a cold, she used to give you and put what she call in the mole head, which is right in the forehead. Maybe that's why I became bald very early. But when you go sleep and you wake up the next morning, that cold knockout.
Yep.
Yeah. Camphor
Yep.
and this, and it was, but it's a homemade remedy. There's one that used to use for tummy pains, which used to have quicksilver in it. Quicksilver is mercury. Mercury is poisonous, but it used to be quicksilver and garlic along with something else and so forth. But when you have belly hot and you take a sip of that, and whether just like somatic or not, before you know it, your belly cool. But I probably won't take it now, knowing that quicksilver, which is mercury, has poisonous vapors.
Yeah.
But there are a certain element of therapy to these things, so I don't rule them out. I don't rule them out. And medicine used to be very arrogant to say, well, there's no science behind it and so forth. But if we look behind the science, there's all the practical things. You know, curare, which we used to, which we can't do without now in theater. When somebody has to put to sleep and they have to all the muscles to relax. Curare come from the Amazon jungle. That's how they discovered it. They saw the Amazonian Indians using that, spitting it out. The monkey them and in the tree fall down, they get food and so forth. Because the corral wear off after time and then they could eat it, it's become edible, the meat becomes edible. So, and almost, well, not most, almost all, until these days when we got into what we call recombinant DNA techniques, almost all of our drugs are plant-based, plant-derived. Extraction, foxglove, which is something we call digitalis today.
All right, we got somebody on the line. Good afternoon, you're live on Nice Radio.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Carlisle. Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead.
And good afternoon to you as a panelist, Carlisle and thing.
Yeah.
And now I like the topic already from this morning. And I realize that some effort take to come up with politics in a sense. It might not be effort right through, but that is a good way, because if this fella can match you and they really see what's going on in politics in Sydney, so you could see that when this man is talking about.
I'm hoping you're getting somewhere with this, because
because why he bringing up politics in a health?
I ain't gonna stay long, but let me just tell you that being, some people in Sylvan who think that Gonsalves is a criminal.
All right. When I'm ready, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna give you a hint when we're gonna talk about that. WhatsApp says,
yes, tell he goodbye, man.
Tell Dr. Leacock know how to ask elder persons to give him remedy. Old people used to melt lard and camphor ball.
Lard, camphor, and nutmeg.
Lard, camphor, and nutmeg. And that was good for what? That was good. Boy, I remember my mother.
When you have fever,
my mother,
good night down.
My mother refused. She refused to give me antibiotics. Every time she forced me to drink antibiotics, I used to look like I look like I going dead, But antipa was a big thing back in the days when we were growing up.
But Carlisle, antipa they used to use, according to my mother, they use it to deworm you. That's what my mother used to say. But they had another one they used to use. Well, at least in my home, they used to use when you're going back to school, like around this time here, after you done eat all them fruits and stuff like that. And they used to give you a thing called Epsom salts. My father used to tell my mother, where again the children them that for? That is for
Epsom salts. All right.
yeah, that is for pigs. My father, I don't know. My father never believed in giving children Epsom salts. He used to tell my mother, that is for pig. But you know, back then you had one outside latrine, and my mother will give all of we Epsom salts the same time. You know what I mean, right? You got line up.
Somebody
Yeah,
says,
but Epsom
somebody
salt,
says,
sir,
his mother used to
Epsom
use
salt is magnesium sulfate.
dead shot for worms.
It's magnesium sulfate, and it is actually very useful these days for treating women with a certain condition called preeclampsia. And it's also been used now to protect the brains of premature infants. If you're over 20 weeks and they think you're going to be born before you're 33 weeks, you can give your mother magnesium sulfate in a drip. Of course, it's industrialized, and that will help to protect your brain so that you don't have brain damage when you're born. So there are a lot of these things that they're proven, right?
They're proven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just the
yeah,
old
but
remedies that, like I said, that we used to have. I was mentioning foxgloves.
Mm.
The monks in Britain who knew that, because a lot of some of these things are religious based, knew that when they started suffering heart failure, they boil the foxgloves and they drink it and their heart would stop trembling, etc. and so forth. And today we hear about digitalis, but digitalis is the foxgloves. When I go about walking, but I see foxgloves growing all along the side of the street. But that is the drug digitalis is what comes from the foxgloves.
Yeah, but and that's why I say that a lot of the things now that I am personally, this is a personal thing. I personally finding out now that a lot of the stuff that we a lot of the bush and thing now that they actually checked out and prove it working. And I sit down the other day having a conversation with a couple people and I telling them, now if you could eat a sugar apple, you could drink the bush. If you could eat a mango, you could eat the bush. When you could drink the bush. When I was growing up, I never hear nobody talk about drinking mango bush tea, sugar apple. I know soursop because I drink so much of that I think I'm immune to that. But I still drink it. And then you have tambourine, you have papaw, all these fruits. Now they're proving that if the fruit is good to eat, it is good for you to use the bush. Now, I never in my life ever heard anybody say they're making guava bush tea when I was a kid. Now today, guava bush is one of the most expensive bush if you could find it in any of them little stores, them vegetable stores around Brooklyn, New York. If you could get the guava bush, it's very expensive compared to something like Corilla and those kind of things. Guava is more expensive now. I never heard nobody drink it. But you know, I am open to all of these things. And I think we all should be open to them. But you don't go and eat a whole big set of food like Doc was talking about. People don't take the insulin on Sunday because they have to eat all this ton of food. You don't overeat in certain categories and expect that you could just take a little bit of bush and it's gonna go away. It don't work like that. You have to do these things in moderation. That's what I believe.
Yep. Boy, another thing, boy. It was Dettol and what was the other thing that you used to put in cuts and scrapes? Iodine. I'm thinking about iodine and you're bruising and you feel like you're standing up on an ant's nest. You know.
But iodine is proven. Dettol, I think has gone out of fashion because Dettol does not promote tissue healing. So, and to be honest, anytime I smell Dettol, me personally, I used to feel like if I'm going dead. It just have an awful smell. And Limacol and Alcolado, them things, I don't confirm them because they really does make me feel like I'm getting sick. And they don't help. And you know, in the old days when you go in hospital, the first thing you used to pack is your pajama, and the next thing is your Alcolado.
Limacol.
Not proven.
Yeah.
Not proven.
All right. Somebody say, yes, I know about that shot. The smell of it alone will kill all the worms and everything else. You know. Somebody else say guava bodies for diarrhea. All right. Oh boy,
Yeah,
Moringa.
Mm.
We have lots of that in St. Vincent,
I
and
never I never heard of that till till a couple of years ago, Doc.
that's a good tea as well. Good.
But Doc,
Yes.
Moringa when I was growing up, never heard of it.
Yeah. And some of us, we don't like to cook with onions, but I remember when a little child I used to eat onions just like that. We used to, oh, it give you bad breath, etc. But the constituents of onions, and if you don't like onions, we sieve shallots, good cooking ingredients. All those are good antioxidants and things that are good for your blood pressure and for regulation of lots of things in the body. But we becoming so modern, when you go to sorry, I don't want to KFC, you ain't gonna get that in it. Or to Subway, you'll get onions at Subway and the other things, but just be mindful, your normal ingredients. So home cooking is something we shouldn't stray from, to be honest.
All right, we got somebody on the phone. Nice radio. Good afternoon. They gone. All right.
We have a lot to be thankful for with our foreparents and some of the things that they do for us. But we also got to accept that some of the
Yeah. All right, I got somebody on the line now. Nice radio. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Hey.
Yeah, I just buy the red onion by the pound and just clean them and eat them, cut them and eat them just so.
Okay. And that's good for
Hello?
what? And that's good for what?
Very good to alkalize your body.
Okay. This is red onion. Okay. All right.
They say the onion good to alkalize your body. I don't eat the white one, I eat the red one. Even the raw garlic and soup.
You get them from Jennifer Shepperton?
No, I buy for $150.
All right. All right. Okay then.
All right.
All right, take care.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that our traditional cooking is better than the fast food thing. I mean, it has some people who, especially younger children, even here in Brooklyn, New York, where I live, they don't want no food with the parents cook. They order out these fast food,
All
fried
right.
chicken, lot of fries.
I got two calls coming in at the same time. Nice radio. All right, that one gone. Nice radio. Good afternoon. You live?
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi.
Yeah, I hear Doc say he didn't drink apple bush tea. But I could remember when I was young, I drink apple bush, I drink lime bush, I drink a tea you call a running vine like you call know your vine, and so on. But not the mango bush. I like the apple bush and soursop bush and so on. And as the guy, my partner from Beckley was telling you, because when you're going back to school, home it was a good time. And when you're going back to school, his grandmother used to deal with this seawater and alcohol, as he was saying, we're trying to get away, but when you get away, there is another one with, and you don't got much road to village of Hamilton, so you're getting caught still. And if you don't get caught in the morning, you're getting caught in the evening, so you gotta drink that water and arrow, and that would clean out and everything. So that is true what he was saying there. And there's a lot of bush.
All right, let me grab this local caller. Nice radio. Good afternoon. You live? Uh-huh.
I don't hear nobody speak about Canadian healing oil.
Canadian healing oil. Well, you talk about it.
And Gumavalos.
And what is that?
We used to drink Gumavalos.
Gumavalos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke about that earlier on. Gumavalos.
And the Canadian healing oil was good for belly pain.
And somebody just mentioned castor oil. Castor oil for colds.
Yeah, all of that.
Yep. All right.
It just to answer Prince's call about the red onions. The thing is, don't overdo. So just sitting down and eating a bag of red onions might not be the best thing to do, Princess. But having an onion a day probably good because two things. One is I think you're going to talk about Alzheimer's today. Good for neural protection and in terms of brain health, and it helps to reduce your cholesterol as well. The ingredients in onions, right? Red onions and the green onions, they're both good for that.
All right. These people were scheduled to come on at they were scheduled to come on at between 11:45 and 12, and I haven't seen them. But this is a clip of what inspired me to contact them and get them to come on the program.
Do you or did you know someone with Alzheimer's disease? For many of us, this might be hard to pinpoint because these aren't diseases that you hear about quite often. It is highly likely, however, that among our elderly relatives, neighbors, and friends, there are people suffering from symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Association believes that when it comes to your health, knowledge is power. So here are 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's disease. 1. Memory loss that disrupts daily life. 2. Challenges in planning or solving problems. 3. Difficulty completing familiar tasks. 4. Confusion with time or place. 5. Trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships. 6. New problems with words in speaking or writing. 7. Misplacing things and losing the ability to retrace your steps. 8. Decreased or poor judgment. 9. Withdrawal from work or social activities. And 10. Changes in mood or personality. If you notice any of these changes in yourself or someone else, take action. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Association is striving to make dementia a memory.
All right. Like I said, I contacted them, and they said, well, that it would have been a little bit difficult because most of the members are at church at this time, but they, one of them said that they were, but like I said, last time I heard from them was at the.
So do you want us to talk about Alzheimer's then?
All right, that's fine because it would have been
Because
something.
you mentioned that to me this morning. And I could only recall a few things, but I'll deal with things that I could remember. So this is taking me back to basic medicine. Like I say, I'm a doctor, but I don't really practice medicine. I practice obstetrics, and there is a difference. The things that affect us in terms of Alzheimer's is basically it might be what you call a genetic component. So if your mother had it, your father had it, your great-great-grandparents had it, you'll probably get it. And the reason why we are probably exhibiting it now is because our grandparents didn't live long enough. They didn't live beyond 60 and 65, which is when they tend to get affected. So we didn't see it in them and so forth. My grandmother died at 64. Environmental factors, the diet, we're just talking about that. We're just and talking about that. You may live around factories, especially in big countries and industrial places that putting out toxins, etc., that cause in your brain to get affected. Your lifestyle and so forth. But with all of us, over time, our brain would actually deteriorate, irrespective. We'll get to a point where our brain don't function the way we used to do. Now, in the brain, I'm sure I mentioned to you something called amyloid. There's this substance that is proteinaceous substance that builds up in the brain, right? And it builds up between the neurons so that the nerve cells, which is like cables running in your brain and so forth, and between each cable there's a little gap, and it has to find electric current across that gap. Yes, in order for us to be able to communicate. So this amyloid disrupts that connection between the fibers, the nerve fibers in the brain. The other thing is there's another protein called tau protein, right? Which is inside the brain cell itself. So rather than looking, most brain cells look, if you look like a penny, a flat penny with a length of string, and at the end of the string you have like fibers branching out of it. Most neurons look like that. So rather than being like that, the neurons become tangled up. So we call neural tangles and so forth. And of course, we lose brain cells every day. If you use alcohol, we lose 10,000 brain cells a day. But if you are an alcoholic, you lose like 100,000 a day. So you will get to the stage of start exhibiting Alzheimer's sooner if you're a bad alcoholic. So the genetic factors, basically, you could have early onset, and less than 5% of the people who have Alzheimer's have genetic causes. And the late onset, which is the most common, yes, there's a gene that they've now discovered that can cause you to have that. And of late, they've already discovered another gene that is contributing to having Alzheimer's. But our health itself impacts on the brain. Now, if you have hypertension and you have diabetes and you have high cholesterol and you have heart disease, it means that your brain cells don't get enough oxygen and things that it needs to do. So, of course, that could precipitate Alzheimer's, because if the brain cells not working to maximal capacity, then obviously the byproduct of that is that you're going to have some sort of neural deficit, right, or brain deficit, and that contributes to that. High processed sugars, which I talked about this morning, right? And again, we go back to the fructose question, because we have a lot of plants and so on. I'm not telling you to don't eat fruit, but what I'm saying is don't overdo. Dog, remember this word, moderation. All right. Lack of antioxidants. No, the Mediterranean people have a strange diet, which is pasta and lots of olive oil, etc., and so forth. And they have the least heart disease in Europe, and they have the least form of Alzheimer's in Europe. The Italians got head trauma, boxers, right? Muhammad Ali, very known for that. Bashing head out, you got repeated concussion. You end up with having a type of Alzheimer's because of that. Sleep and stress, right? Chronic sleep issues. If you're not sleeping well, when you don't sleep well, you pour out a lot of adrenaline. If you pour out a lot of adrenaline, your blood pressure goes up. If your blood pressure goes up, it affects the transmission of blood through your veins, and you don't get enough oxygen to your head. Plus, there's certain hormones that you're required to make when you sleep. If you don't sleep, you will not make your night hormones, and your night hormones are required for you to function during the day. So all those might contribute to that. And there's certain infection, of course, that could attack brain cells in particular that will give you that.
We got Pincham on the line. Good
Right.
afternoon. Yeah.
Pincham, the
Good
garbologist.
afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Doc and everybody. How are you going, man?
We good. What about you?
Hey, all right, and is it the studio hot I cold?
What was that?
Is it the studio hot I cold inside?
Well, the air condition turn up, so it's cold.
Okay, well, we getting all the heat outside.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking about tea and all kind of thing. All you fellas, well, not you. I know older than you, but Doc and all them fellas, they supposed to tell you the real kind of bush we used to drink long time. And if I know that them supposed to know it, got a bush called warm grass. It smells bad, like if you're walking in the toilet or something. Real bad.
Oh,
but when you tell it, you supposed to cold it, everything full of you like if it's a sanitation worker. Yeah, and
Trumpet
you let
push.
them ask to jump the ball. You know, these guys shadow belly, all them things in here and dementia, and them is the thing. And then the one that I really like, when you know the old man who had married to my mother, right?
Yeah.
When he go in mountain, he ain't walking with no bread, he walk with a 2 pound of flour, about 4 or 5 chocolate, and he make a kettle, and it's dumpling in chocolate tea. And you need it in that in hand, you need it with a spoon, because you can't put your hand in that guy, you have to cut it with a spoon and drop it in the milk and thing, Boy, that thing is so good, really good. I feel like I'm strong because I got through blindness, I survived. I got through coma, I survived. So God bless you and the dumpling.
Yep. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that. I
man,
remember that diabetic coma there. Yeah, man. Your phone gone a little funky deep in chum. It sounds like,
Yeah, man. I got to you know, they're going on good, man. And they just have a blessed evening, right?
all right, you take care. Thanks for your contribution.
All right, my brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, hold it down. Yep.
Yeah, so back to Alzheimer's. So age is the
Mm.
strongest risk factor, right? And it's most common after age 65. And after that, your risk of Alzheimer's every 5 years it doubles, right? And it's just due to natural decline in brain repair. When you get older, you can't repair cells that you used to. That ability goes with time and so forth. Because of course, we come into the end of days. Yes, there's a lot of things. I don't know if you remember one time we talked about your microbiome or your gut microbiome. This is the things that live in your guts that produce they are in partner with you. They produce lots of beneficial things for you and so forth. But depending on our diet, we may change our gut microbiome, and the beneficial stuff that we're supposed to get from the gut microbiome, we don't get that. So there's a lot of things emerging because of that. So there is not any one view of as to what causes Alzheimer's. So there's no single cause. Yes. So recently they have been advocating that if you had chickenpox as a child, it can come back the same what we call the varicella virus. It can come back later in life as something called shingles, which is a real painful thing that may come from around your back, chicken, and you can't sleep at night, it pays like hot like fire. And they believe when you have chicken pox, we used to think that you could only get chicken pox once, but you can have chicken pox more than once in life. And that because the chicken pox virus tend to lie dormant in nerve cells. So it lies dormant in the brain cells, and it produces a protein, and it is this protein that is is responsible now. So what they're advocating, right? I'm going to bring up that viewer that nobody likes in Vince, is that if you get vaccinated against chicken pox, that it may have a preventive effect for you developing Alzheimer's later in life. No,
All
it
right,
is a difficult thing.
before you go there, I got Ard on the line. Ard, give me a mic check.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I can't get to the portal. The portal, my microphone will not turn on at all, so I really don't know what else to do.
All right. Okay, well, all right. Yeah, Dr. Leacock, yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing about that, we have to live with people who have Alzheimer's. And it requires us, whether we like it or not, it could become a burden to us because we feel strong and fit and healthy. And here it is, you have somebody who yesterday they were brilliant and today they're declining. And so we have to develop coping strategies. How do we deal with people who start developing cognitive decline? One way is that you have memory aids around the house. So you use almanac. Is you have an almanac every year. You have almanac on the wall. You put a little mark on it to them and say, well, tomorrow we go in Sandy Bay. Are you supposed to go to the doctor the next day, etc. and so forth. And these are just the photos with people. You might not know who your grandchildren is and so forth. So you put a little label below the name of the grandchildren. This is John, this is James, this is Mary, and so forth. You have to try and establish like routine. Sorry, it becomes like if you're in the army, but you get up at 6 o'clock, and 6 o'clock is brush teeth time, 12 o'clock is shower time, 2 o'clock you can have lunch, etc. and so forth. And this is in order for people to be able to cope. And for those of us who never play games, it is recognized if you start little puzzles and so forth, and things that you used to do in childhood, those will bring back experiences and bring back memories, etc. and so forth. The thing is, those persons mentioned, one of the 10 things they mentioned is that you stop going out and mixing with people. And that would contribute towards your decline. So you basically need to maintain the contact with those people that you're having. So you might say, oh, mommy old now, she don't need to be in house. But mommy might have an old friend up the road and so forth. And just carrying the mommy by old friend, sit down, chat about the good old days. Sometimes the memory comes flushing back and so forth. It might be useful sometimes to write things down and to journal things down so that you could sit and reminisce. Oh, what did we do today? Did we enjoy it? We went yesterday. Did you enjoy that? Is it something we get to again and so forth? Exercise as usual, always a vital thing that we need to play important. And diet. Diet, I already mentioned about the Mediterranean thing. And try and get some sleep. We know when you're older. One of my colleagues asked me today, I was at work last night, by the way, and by 6 o'clock I was up. And I'm up at 6 o'clock every day regardless, because I probably don't need all of that sleep. But try and establish proper hygiene and sleep hygiene so that you know that you will think. And in extreme cases, you may need to probably do some little modifications in your house, like changing things around the way you put your furniture, etc., to create a familiarity, but also to create places that your elderly people, they wouldn't fall over. They would know to take the part from the bedroom to the kitchen without dropping over a chair, etc., and so forth. So you might need to do those little subtle adjustments within the home in order to cope with somebody who is developing with Alzheimer's. And of course, you always have to seek your doctor's help. We don't have a lot of psychologists in Sinwins, but there's a lot of things we call behavioral therapy that you could use in modern days that would try and see how they could adjust to some of these things. Yes. So simple communication strategies. Speak slowly.
And we've
You
been
know.
we've been joined by an Alzheimer's sufferer.
Yes. Right. Slowly
And Mr.
maintain your eye
Fred is good
contact.
afternoon.
You
Yeah.
know. Try and be patient with people. Don't get upset and shout after them because you don't know what's going on and thing.
That
And
is why it really appealed to me to um to reach out to these persons, because my father especially suffered it, and to differentiate between, what was in his head and what was actually, I would explain to him, and it took a while for us to establish trust, and I think that trust was exclusive with me, wherein that, I can say, well, that, it's the illness that's speaking, you know such and such did not happen. It's the illness that's speaking. I mean, I use other things too. I mean, one of the things that would snap him out of it is that I would ask him a question on photography that I know. And then he would answer me, like, but you should know that you've been around me, that you're supposed to know that, you're supposed to be asking me them things. But it was just to stimulate, his thought process, and to, bring things back around to what it was. Another thing too, I mean, all his old cassettes, I would have brought them and played, especially he was a big Chalk Dust fan, I mean, person living in Kingston Park would know, that my father would listen to a lot of Chalk Dust. I mean, not just Chalk Dust, but I mean, Chalk Dust was
so
was
those, so those are the things that he was familiar with.
those are the things that he's familiar with, and
Yeah, so
it would
that would
bring
help in terms of your cognition and keeping the memory going. One of the
yeah.
important things is they will give you nonverbal clues as well, right? And body language. You try and develop a rapport, but just looking at the body language, in terms of these people.
But Alvin, here was my question.
Yes.
And it ties also intimately with high blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of persons out there, and I use the term persons instead of scientists, who are capitalizing on the impact of high blood sugar and Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have is an abundance of so-called remedies for
Yeah.
these diseases. And obviously, a lot of us, because we see our loved one going through the trauma of all of these medications, so to speak. And here's something that is available, like what Bigger Bigs was talking about, all of
Mm-hmm.
these things that we used to do in the past. They're selling these things. And we feel caught up, or we feel as though this is something that we can probably use to alleviate the symptoms of this loved one that is caught up in either high sugar or Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
What can you say? Because I had asked you that question a long time ago. What can you say relative to all of these things that are flooding the market as issues to resolve these two particular issues, these two
Right.
particular problems that you are impacted by?
The long and short of that odd is that you need a collective of brains, and I'm just one person. So I think this is where your Ministry of Health comes in, because you should really have a department in your Ministry of Health, or whether it want to be in education, where they will do the research into these things, will come out, etc., and so forth, and give public awareness and public warning as to what is and isn't. So that's a role probably for your Ministry of Health and your health educators in the country to start saying, yes, we know Alzheimer's exists, X, Y, and Z, but we've ordered this new drug, etc., and so forth, and to have people who will do that research. And doing that kind of research these days isn't that difficult. I mean, artificial intelligence might help a lot to do it, but then you have to do research into the artificial intelligence itself to make sure that it's bona fide. And most journals, and I don't know why our government, for instance, in the hospital, I don't think we subscribe to any medical journal at the Kingston General Hospital. I know it's quite easy for the government to pay annual subscription for us to be able to subscribe to at least 4 reputable medical journals: one in medicine, one in surgery, one in obstetrics, one in pediatrics, that your doctors could go and look at things and research things and get
Hello?
and get things from that level. So I think one important caveat here is that when people start losing the memory, etc., and so forth, having legal papers in place, powers of attorney, so that people can make decisions in case you get ill and have to go to hospital. You want surgery, you don't want surgery, etc., and so forth. If you die and pass, so your will specifically state what happens, etc., and so forth. But this is not just only for Alzheimer's people as well. We have young people getting killed and so forth, and you might have children. You're 30, you might have 2 children. You die, you never left a will, but you might have a car, and the car might have a value. Who gets the car? Right? Do you sell it and split up and give it kids? So the whole thing about will and power, turn it and so applies across the board. And you keep hearing me saying that creating and having a will is really important these days for people wanting to enter into adulthood and start into relationships, etc.
We got
Good
somebody in the
afternoon.
line. Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon to the doctor. Listening you guys for the whole morning. I have a question that I really want to ask because I don't really hear much about it. So I want to know if it does, and what's the event of having to get that? Men, is it possible of man getting breast cancer?
Of
We often
course.
hear about breast cancer. So I would like
Yes.
to listen off air. So I would like to hear and how is it possible, because I think the men are afraid to ask these things, and this is something that I think we should be really be aware and to get to understand and so forth, because we always hear about women with breast cancer and so forth. So I want to know what's the possibility and how if men get it, and what are the signs and so forth. All right, so I listen off air. Thank you very much.
All right.
I don't think he's been listening to our program, because when I dealt with breast cancer in women, I also mentioned breast cancer in men. And in fact,
100%.
and not only that, it is more aggressive in men. Reason being, women have the fatty breast tissue. So if you develop the cancer in the fatty breast tissue, the cancer have to infiltrate the fat, etc., and so forth before it gets down to the muscles underneath. Men don't have that. So if when men develop breast cancer, the next thing underneath there is the muscle, the pectoralis muscles. So that cancer in men easily gets into the muscles, into the bone, and it spreads. So breast cancer in men is far, far more aggressive than in women.
Good afternoon. A question for Dr. Leacock. Is there any help for people with long and short memories? Some people can remember things that happened 10 years ago, but unable to remember anything that happened this morning.
That's part of Alzheimer's, isn't it?
But that's more dementia, right?
Dementia.
There's an area in the brain called the hippocampus. It's called hippocampus because it looks like a horse, basically, and hippos means horse in Latin and Greek, and that's where all our deep-seated memory is kept and so forth. So when you have that, it's not every day that you'll be like that. There'll be days when you remember everything, right? And then other days you don't remember anything. But that deep-seated memory is locked away in that place and so forth, and you lose that connection as you get old and so forth. But then you wake up one morning and maybe one of the neurons, this is my speculative theory now, just connected up for that little minute brief moment and so forth, and that memory comes flooding back and so forth. And you can remember from 1900, and the next morning you ask about, you were telling me about 1900 yesterday, and I say 1900, I don't remember anything from 1900, because that neuron has severed, and that bit of connectivity is gone, right? So that's a fluid. Sorry, I like this term fluid and dynamic. It's quite fluid and it's quite dynamic in that your memory isn't and that has to do a lot with your mental capacity as well. So you have people who don't have any memory today, and the family might say they don't want an operation, don't operate on my mother, but the next day that person's memory is back, and they have mental capacity, and they could say, yes, don't bother with my son or my daughter, I want you to do this surgery for me because I think I may benefit from it, right? So mental capacity changing in terms with mental status.
What about mental exercises? Like my neighbor who passed away earlier this year that lived to be 104. I remember it was customary to see her on the porch doing the crossword puzzle.
But that's what I was
Um,
saying.
yes, yes.
I was talking about that. Puzzles, crosswords, what you call it,
Games.
Lego, those sort of things and so forth. It's just to keep the main going. I was in Barbados a couple of years ago, and I could never forget to the other things that Barbados that there's this huge tent, and they were playing music, and the music was from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And when you look in the tent, it was elderly people. That's a function that the government put on where you could get the people in the bus every day, take them to this place, and they could sit down there, meet other people along their generation, people who they never met, may develop new relationships, etc. In terms of even getting married, I suppose. And they would dance away and remember all the old-fashioned music from them, and that was good for their mental health. So these are the things you probably need to organize within your community. There's no reason why we can't have a granny walk in the afternoon, right? Where all the grandmothers have a little stroll, whether it's around the corner in the village, etc. and stuff. Would stop by Miss Lady Mango Tree and have a little reminiscence about what used to happen in their days under the mango tree.
You know another thing that Carlisle, you got a lot of it down in Jackson Bay. It's called it's called um it got the black seed. It, it got
It's
the
called
big
what?
leaf with the black seed. I think it's called castor oil.
Castor oil.
Castor oil tree.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned
You,
something
you,
that,
you know
that
that one, doctor?
No, I'm not familiar with that. I thought it was going to talk about Corolla, but Corolla again have its benefits.
No, castor. It have a lot of corail down in Jackson Bay too, but it have a lot of castor oil tree. And I noticed in right here in Brooklyn, where I'm at, I noticed some of the people in the garden that I'm involved in, they plant the castor oil and they harvest the leaf and they try to get the seed, but it's not a perennial plant and it has to come fast and do what it gotta do and then die. They pick the leaves. And I think when I was growing up, they used to give that castor oil. I hear people say, I'm not too sure. I heard it.
Somebody
When
say the
when
seed on the leaf is the same thing as seed on the leaf.
no, totally different.
Okay.
Um, the castor oil, the castor oil in the tree with the big leaf, like a almost look like a pumpkin style leaf, but it on a tree. Anyway, they used to say they're giving you the castor oil to when you have baby in hospital back way back when. You never heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Carla, you have that right down in your area down in Jackson Bay.
boy, I probably see it and don't know it. When you say Jackson Bay, I was thinking almond. I was thinking the big almond tree down there, but
No, castor oil, castor oil.
Where is Jackson Bay? Sorry to sound
Jackson Bay
ignorant. I
is in
haven't a
Layu.
clue.
Jackson Bay is in Layu.
Jackson Bay is in the like on the side when you're going to Bamborough.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Jackson Bay. I don't know who Jackson name after Carl. I will tell you that better. That's Carl, the historian and
That
that
be
it may be a Jackson. It may be a
that
Jackson
before
who come from England.
that before my time. You probably get that from Dougie. He's saying down there quiet like he ain't talking. I don't know. Let me see who's on the line. Nice radio. Good afternoon. You live.
Hello, good afternoon to
Hi.
everybody in the panel.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I heard about he's speaking about castor oil, right?
Mm.
The castor oil bush, mostly like papaya bush, right?
Yes,
And they bearing some kind of seed, like
right.
they bearing some kind of seed, and when they dry, I understand they could make oil with them, the same castor oil with them. When I did young and used to be in hospital for have baby, I know they used to give me that. They used to give me that to drink, for wash out.
Yeah, I heard that. So you see, we got somebody who know that twitch to be true.
Yeah.
Doug,
That is where they used to give me when we have young babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
That is my position. I have to say yes.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. We got somebody on hold. Good afternoon. You're live on Nice Radio.
yeah, the 3-day castor oil tree, man. Tell Doug it's castor oil.
Okay. It's
The
castor
tree
oil.
they're talking about is castor oil. It's a broadleaf tree.
Okay.
People used to make castor oil from it.
All right.
Yeah,
Alright?
that's my good friend Money Man. Good day,
Yeah.
Money Man.
Yeah, boy, man. Yeah, man. I do listen, man.
All right,
All right.
Captain. Thank you.
All right, bless it, bless it.
Take care. Take care. Take care. Nice Radio. Good afternoon. You're live. All right. We lost that caller. The castor oil tree. The castor oil tree is nut. It's called nut. It's called nut. Somebody just sent a picture of the plant. Okay, and yes. All right. Like I said, we were supposed to be joined by this is September 21st is World Alzheimer's Day, and they were doing special promotions in St. Vincent, and we were supposed to be joined by the association, but I guess something popped up because
There are some drugs that you could give people that have Alzheimer's. Yeah, they're not 100% effective, but sometimes they could what we call ameliorate the disease. They call them cholinesterase inhibitors. Yeah. I don't want to call out too many names and confuse people, but you'll hear about rivastigmines. I think it's Exelon. I think there's another one called galantamine that you can use, but those probably work when things are mild. When things start getting more severe, you probably need to increase them and so forth. And they have really bad side effects, yeah? Diarrhea, nausea, you can't sleep. And imagine if you had a condition where sleeping was important and now you can't sleep and you can't give people if they had heart disease with them. And so that effectiveness will vary. Um, they have some they call memory antagonists, right? Things that they're trying to boost the memory with and so forth that you can use. And they have some new drugs coming out, which you call antibodies basically. If in your day-to-day life you may hear them talk about things called lecanemab, azutimab, these are modulators and new class drugs and they have a different way of working. And they feel they might be what we call an anti-Alzheimer's drug in them, but they are just new on the market and the efficacy isn't well proven. You can't really swear by them at the moment and say, well, this one is definitely the best for you, right?
yeah. Well, what I one of the things I want to bring to this morning is to based on my experience where I can ask persons who have family members that are suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia is mainly to exercise patience because
Yes.
in a lot of ways the ones who are suffering don't really know don't really are not really aware of of how effective the symptoms are. Persons, like I said, I would have to tell my father, well, and it took a while to build that kind of trust to say, well, Dad, here
And
it
you,
is,
you have to
it's the
repeat yourself
illness.
several times. You have to
Yeah.
probably do the same thing over and over and over again. But
Mm.
that is the time when you don't lose your cool, because when you lose your cool and you get angry, then they get upset and they get frustrated, and then that's trying to the memory, then it gets even worse.
Yeah,
They probably become
I
frozen and can't do anything.
I give you a joke too because and you're not to overlook them because I remember there was a family funeral that I was supposed to do, something, I was going to do something special for. And I was told by one of my cousins that the family, the funeral was Saturday, but it turned out that the funeral was going to be on Wednesday, which was the Wednesday before the Saturday. And speaking to my father, I told him I was going to the funeral, and he said, "But Carl, the funeral is Wednesday." I said, "No, that the funeral is Saturday." He said, "No, the funeral is Wednesday," and he was right. But I'm just dismissing it. I dismissed it because of his illness. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah,
but
you think that his
he
memory
had
wasn't
gotten other
functioning well, which is the
information.
one
Yeah.
moment when his memory was in fact functioning quite well.
Yes, yes, yes. Somebody's on the line. Nice radio. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Nice radio. Hello. 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 Good afternoon. Oh, well, somebody's playing with the phone. Yep. 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 Now, Mr. Douglas, I hope I didn't offend you that I have you all sitting there quiet and quiet and quiet and quiet. Lines going again. Nice radio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
I just called to say about the castor oil. I came up, my grandmother was making the oil and selling it to Mr. McIntosh in town. So we have to drink it all the time. And when I have baby, as the woman said, you have to get a drink of that. I was afraid of it, but I have to drink it. And the warm grass that Pincham talk about, oh my God, that was smelly, but we have to drink it after going back to school.
I hear you.
We couldn't go back to school without drinking that. And the cancer with men. My husband died of breast cancer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he know it was there, what it was a rice grain, he feel it. And he tell me, come feel something. But in that days, we didn't think about that. It was like a rice grain. And it used to roll up. And then it started to come until he went to Cyrus. Cyrus cut it out and sent it to Jamaica. And it come back and it was a cancer.
Oh, wow.
And he had to take one body born. And then he went to Barbados. Cyrus cut off the whole thing, everything. So he moved all the tissue, everything. But he went to Barbados and get it born. And then after it came back under his arm.
Okay.
And
So
when
that's
it
how
cut,
to
it was
travel.
like a marble. He went to his arm and then he go to Barbados again, take another drugs. And the last time it came back was his lungs.
Okay.
And he died he was just 43 when he died.
So that's what we're talking about, because there isn't much tissue underneath. In women, the cancer have to eat through the fat tissue first before it gets down to the muscles and the bones. With your husband,
Yeah.
of course, that's in. So it really emphasizes the importance of men doing the same examination like women, feeling your breast to feel where they have lumps and bumps in your breast, because that's important. So it's not those
And
women who should go to do breast examination. Men should too.
Don't take it slightly at all.
All right.
Okay, then.
Okay, take care. WhatsApp says, good afternoon. How could Dr. Leacock forget castor oil? As a former cadet, BT Marksman will make you drink it if you claim to be sick. I don't know. This is what we getting from WhatsApp. I don't know.
I haven't forgotten castor oil, but the fact is I never used to be sick, you see. So it's when they have people report for sick parade in the morning and so forth. If you're sick, then you have a lineup and everybody have to take a dose of castor oil. So that used to just cure the problem.
Yeah.
That's just a lighter moment.
There's Natalie. Natalie, you ever take castor oil? It's a color. What you asking me? Yeah, she shakes her head, yes. What it tastes like? Tell me what it tastes like. Natalie whispering. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of good herbal medicine in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I think what we need to do, as Dr. Lickett said earlier in his announcement with what he was talking about, is that we need to force the University of the West Indies to do more medical research on top of all these different islands I think it will help. It will help to make a big impact maybe on the world because we have so much tropical we have so much tropical plants and so on and so forth that has so much medicinal value and nobody writes it down. We get it handed down, some of us, from generation to generation to generation to generation. Because I could never understand why my mother would give us soursop, soursop tea every night with no milk. And one thing I know for sure,
My
when
grandmother
you
used to
drink
do
a,
that.
when you drink a soursop tea, you're guaranteed to get a good night's sleep. That is one. And two, when you look at soursop today and the medicinal value that it has worldwide, I used to be a young boy when I growing up, and see certain neighbors drinking Milo and Ovaltine for the dinner, and I drinking this sauce at Bush, sugar but no milk. I didn't want that. I want Milo and Ovaltine. Now I probably kind of buy.
And Doug, like you're breaking up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lemongrass tea. My grandmother was famous for that.
Rather just drink my simple sauce of Bush, which I I always have a little bit at my home here in America. When I go home, I drink it fresh off the tree with mixed with some maybe some mint or some thick leaf thyme or something. I drink that any night. But I know one thing that I used to get a good night's sleep. I think my mother used to give me that so we could go sleep good, so she can make more. We
The thing about this, yeah, is that one is we have archives in St. Vincent. The National Archive should be looking into things like that, going around asking people about these remedies, writing it down, putting it in a little folder, etc., and so forth. Some will make sense, some will make nonsense, but it's there for posterity. But not these things that are slipping under us all the time, and the generation that has been using that thing, they're going. It will eventually be lost. But that is something we could do.
I'm
Um,
still I'm still waiting to find out why people go to the beach with Corolla. People go to Corolla and take Corolla
how
to the beach and sap with
how
it.
do, how do I know you were gonna ask that, Carlisle? 'Cause but Carlisle, you don't only go to the beach with Corella for you. A lot of people go to the beach with Corella to bathe the dogs.
oh yes, that's
And
true.
Yeah.
and it might not be thing, but Carlisle, I am telling you this. Corella Bush in the West Indian produce store in America is big money. Sourceup Bush in New York is five
But,
leaf
but, but
in
Doc,
for
it's not
dollar.
West Indians selling them things. Even in Britain, when they go and they find them things, it's the Asians and the pack. I never see one Caribbean person selling none of them remedy in the United Kingdom.
Well, I say
You know,
The West Indian store because it's Asian. You're right, Korean
it's
in
a Chinese
It's a
particular,
man run in the
Chinese
West
store.
Indian store.
and they sell Korean
Still
and they
West Indian
sell and they sell West Indian products.
Yes,
Excuse me.
I
Chanyan,
remember
Edo, Yam, Dashin. And then some
everything,
Caribbean people.
but that I remember going into uh uh one the same Korean store and asking for ferrine, right? And they didn't have it. And the woman run out the store behind me. What's that? So I was explaining to she what it is. She said, bring me picture. Me get it for you. So they will get it from basically from the Dominican Republic. Now you go to the same stores, you find it, and most of the time that ferry come out of the Dominican Republic and Costa Rica in particular, Costa Rica and Dominican Republic, because I assume they produce a lot of cassava, which they call yuca in those area. and they make Bam Bam and all them things. Now you will find all of them in the same West Indian store. Of course, it's run by Korean, Dr. Liquor. It's run by Asians. But they sell all the West Indian product. Anything you could think about in the West Indies, Bush, Grum Provision, all those kind of things. You could get it in these stores and you could get it year round. Year round.
Yep.
Which sometimes you can't even get it year round in your own country because it's a seasonal product. But you could get it year round because they source it from all different places. Like for instance, one example, you have a fish called Robin in St. Vincent. I don't see Robin selling by no big set out of the West Indies from St. Vincent. But I know one thing. I know they get a lot of Robin from the Philippines. Come here fresh weekly. I know somebody who buys it all the time and sells it. From a different island. They have it and they get it out of the Philippines. But it's the same Robin that we have. So it's just a matter of sourcing these things so the people from the West Indies who like it can have it. Breadfruit is another thing. I talked to the guy for breadfruit this week. The breadfruit where he get came from Dominican Republic again, and Guatemala and Honduras.
I think I have a book somewhere about herbal
You
medicine
know?
and tradition and so forth. But it's not from the Caribbean. I think is an American woman who've done research into these things and so forth. And here again, I think we just commissioned a big history book about Saint Vincent. Why can't we commission a book of herbal remedies and traditional things and have it written, so that people could see that for generations to come? This is what I'm talking about, and this is why I think there's a role for governments to get indulged in
Yeah.
that, because we're losing these things. And the problem is, if the book is well written and it's probably patented, nobody could come along after now and say, okay, fine, we're going to produce X, Y, or Z, because you already patented these things, and you have to benefit from whatever they were going to do.
Yeah, we got a lot of things that we could do. We got a lot of things that we could do. And I believe, in my opinion, that the University of the West Indies should play a more better or a critical role in help to develop some of these things. They got they could get the funding and do the research and all like that. And not only that it will be part of our legacy that we leave for generation to come. And not only that, in time to come, we could benefit, just like you say, once we pattern some of those things, we will get residual benefit to fund the same university in West Indies in the future.
Mhm. WhatsApp says medicine made from bush, so it's better to take the bush because the bush has no side effects, and what the body don't want, it gets rid of. I agree with Doug. We should document our local remedies. Yeah, boy, there was I talked about chocolates this morning. Chocolates had a song. I think it was called "See Doctor Wong Pong." Let me see if I can find it. Um, it was about a local a Chinese doctor who would only recommend local remedies. It was, and not to mention we have this one by Doctor, not by DJ 2020. We could have it running in the background in the meantime. Hmm. Hmm. But all right, Valentine. Odd?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking that one of the weaknesses, Carla, you were sharing about your dad just now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was thinking one of the difficulties that we have in the Caribbean is shame. And I think as our parents begin to show signs of dementia, we become more shamed than anything else relative to what we are seeing. And that helps us to perhaps keep them further locked away. Instead of what Alan was suggesting, like becoming more exposed or similarly exposed to what they were accustomed to. Because we have to recognize that their deterioration is much quickened when we isolate them. Alwyn stressed that, and I want to stress that. I want to label that as through my own experience with my mother.
Yeah.
Our mother's condition, which we try to get to see if we can get somebody to keep at home, to in her familiar environment. But we were all so far and so distant that it became a difficult ordeal for us to do that. That's the only how we put her in the Thompson's home. But it's a decision that I have lived to regret.
Me too.
Even now
Me
as I
too. My
speak,
father spent some
I
time
speak
there.
with this empathy in my heart, recognizing that that was the worst decision that we had made with my mother. Because when she got there, within a space of a year and a half, my mother died. And I can only begin to recognize that if we had kept her home, if we had found that particular person who would have been able to come in, a living person, so to speak, or a person with a 24-hour service, my mother may have still been alive up to today. But as I said, that's something that I have lived to regret.
Yeah,
And I agree with Alwyn.
I
We
tell you,
need to keep these persons who are suffering from dementia, especially if we are their children. We need to try to see if we can ensure that they maintain a similar environment to what they have at present. And as much as possible, you bring in people that can share, friends, companions, neighbors that they're familiar with, to keep that brain actively involved in what they were accustomed to. And I'm positive this will add much value to their already life, to their already deteriorating lives.
That is mostly what I would like to share. That's mostly what I would like to share, because I think it takes a whole lot of patience. It takes a whole lot of patience. Imagine that you would get accused, you would get accusations, because these persons are not necessarily. I remember one of my neighbors, and they have a lot of colloquial things about it. They say, well, he's seeing spirits, but I read about the thing, and I just put myself in the position. Listen, it's going to be my, it's going this going to this is probably going to be me one of these days, and if it's going to be me, this is how I would want to be treated. This is how I would want to be treated. And that was my motivation. Nice radio. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Carla.
Hey.
Oh, this is so correct. I remember my dad had sick, and he used to, like, if you see a little man, he used to make a whole heap of noise. And then my mother could not have go with it, because she's really older than him too.
Yep.
So she used to be complaining that she would carry him to Thompson home. But we turn and tell her, no, you can't do that, because if it's you, we would not have want anybody to take you to any Thompson home and this thing. So we tell we get people to come and walk and look after daddy. And we keep daddy home, and daddy was all right. That's Warner, who had the tire shop, and that is there. So dad live a long while, and then afterwards he passed. But all this is correct with what you said.
Yep. All right.
Contribution.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Thanks. 4565967 718 5615.
I happen to agree with Ord 100%, and I and Dr. Licker, because if when people are in the environment, and I will tell you something. When my mom had a little dementia right before Alzheimer's, right before she died. But before that, my mom was blind from glaucoma for a lot of years. And one of the things that keep my mom functioning well in her latter years, especially when she went blind, is the people coming around that she familiar with, and the people that she familiar with on the telephone. She will call and talk to my good friend who passed away a couple of weeks ago, Ruthie, and she talked to Miss Dorset, and she had all her friends who will call her to check on her. And they will have these long conversations. She friends in England and all over who will call her and talk to her. And that keep her home. Now,
You
can
know,
you imagine? Can you
yeah,
imagine, Caroline?
yeah.
We put our mother in a home then. I think that, and I agree with all 100%. That would have speed up her demise, putting her in a home.
All right, you got somebody on the line. Nice radio.
Yes, gentlemen, I have to call back again. I'm glad when you have these kind of programs, because sometimes we keep things inside and don't really share it. I remember I had got smacked in my across my forehead from a police officer with a baton, and I went into a concussion. I was home, and the same time my girlfriend came along, and that night she spent the night with me. And God bless is a lucky thing she was there because I might have been somewhere else all this time. And she happened to call my kids, and then my children, made another call to some other folks, and they came, and I was called to the hospital because Dr. Moriat came there, and so forth. And in the hospital, Carl, I didn't even know what was happening to me. People were talking to me after I recover, the news and so forth that I was in. It was very shocking to me to know that I was in that state. I didn't know myself at all for at least 2 months and more going in. And one thing that they said that Dr. Mori had gave the advice. They have to speak to me and go way back as far as they could when I was a little boy growing up. And it's a good thing that I used to have conversation with my children, telling them about my days growing up and so forth. And my children, my daughters and my sons could have, communicate with me, and my girlfriend and so forth could have communicate with me. Because what Dr. Moria said to them is that my brain cells from the lash was scattered. And he said, in order for that to get back together, you have to start recouping from the small when I was coming up. As you start talking to me and getting the pieces, and I start coming and remembering these pieces, everything will fit right back in. And that actually happened, you know. And I, up to today, I go to Dr. Murray whenever I see him, and I always bring that up with him, and I always say to him, thank you very much for the advice that you've passed on to my children to help me to come back to recovered. And I used to have a lot of headaches, and now and again I'll get a headache. I'll last like 2 days and so because I used to have migraine headaches, and that's a lash that I would always remember. And from what going recovering back and so forth, it always come to me that when what they were telling me and how I was in the hospital from home, they used to have to like keep an eye on me. My girlfriend used to have to hold me all the time because I was walking, going places that I'm not supposed to go. And the kind of things that they tell me, it's like a joke to me, but then it was very serious. So these kind of things, like when people get lashed in the head and so forth, I understand it's always good to take them back and have somebody there with you, as you guys are saying, people who know you, to be around you, to talk and always go back in time and talk and try to help you back in the day of remembering so that you keep memory and keep these memory, because continuing from where you left off when you started, try to pick up back from where you left off right there. Going forward, it wouldn't help. If you always have to go back and try to regroup your brain and so forth. And I've learned that from Dr. Murray. And as a doctor that I'll always keep with highly respect and thankful for the way I am back today. So guys, thanks for your program. Your program is very helpful, and I hope a lot of people take it in. And this is what we're talking about: healthcare and getting a better singleness for the benefit of our people in bringing them together and keeping them alive. Thank you very much.
All right, Captain. Take care. All right.
Alwyn, when you stop using your muscles at that age, it becomes, so to speak, a trophy. What's that called?
But it's muscle wasting, basically. Right? The
No,
muscle
it's
cells
called
die
something. When
off.
you can't move, it becomes
Hello?
stiff.
And you get
When it becomes
stiffness.
stiff.
Yeah, and even around the joints, etc., and so forth. So you end up with stiff joints, and it's not just not the major joints, the toes, the fingers, the hands, and so forth. And it become what we call arthritic, but that's because of muscle atrophy.
You're right. Well, I know they call it something, but I just can't remember what they call it, because I remember
muscle atrophy.
After about 3 months, my mother's hands began to remain in a particular position, and it was difficult and painful to get them to some level of normalcy.
You call those contractures.
What's that?
Contractures.
And so I was away for about a year. And then when I came back, I tried my endeavor best. I went every day and I tried to get my mother's hands to open up. But it was virtually impossible. Even though I
Physiotherapy.
was trying, I
Yeah.
probably spent an hour trying to do that every day, as I said before, but it was still inadequate because it had already gotten to that extent. And that further caused my mother to become immobile.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking if my mother was home with a caregiver or with one of us, that would never have happened. So that is why I continue to harp on this particular point. This is very important. We need to continue to treat our loved ones in a same environment in which they are at the moment before they become losing their mind. We need to ensure that they remain there as long as possible. I agree that it's rather difficult for some people, but as if you can ensure that this is done, then I'm positive you will have a better life for your parent, a longer life, but a better one if the person is kept in the same environment.
The anniversary of my mom's death is coming up on Monday. But I had already started buying things to bring back home, flotation devices. Because my whole plan was to come back home and to start taking my mom to the sea and to put on these flotation armbands, which you give little children when they learn to swim, etc. and so forth. Just so that she could go into the seawater and to be able to float and paddle, etc. No, she couldn't swim, right? And then there's another one that was going to put her around her waist, etc. They probably somebody in St. Vincent laughing about, but that was my intention, just to give her that physical action to move about. She didn't have any, by the way, she was 97 and her brain was still intact up to that stage. She didn't really have memory loss, which was great for her. And
But the other thing too is that what all is saying in the environment, that is very, very important because I say that my mom was blind for many, many years because of glaucoma, and because of the environment in the house where she at, nobody has to do nothing for her. She knows her way around. She knows where the steps are. She knows when to put your foot up. She could go to the kitchen and wash her own dishes and put them away, and she couldn't see.
And that's
I,
why
I,
moving them out of the house, dog, creates a problem
Mhm.
because they go to unfamiliar place and then they become stressed. And the stress adds more to the deterioration because they're no longer in a familiar environment.
All
Right?
right, we got somebody on hold. Nice radio. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Hello, good
Hi.
afternoon.
Hi, Dave.
I have to make I had to make an interjection here. Now, let me let me congratulate. Well, I haven't been in touch with him for a while, but I know he used to always promote me with my photography work and regrettably, I am so sorry I was not able to do it and I suffered great loss. But to you, Dr. Alwyn Leacock, I am happy that you went to Scotland. Scotland is where you're based, right? And
yes,
you went back, you went into the heart of the British, so to speak, and to understand and learn more about the British than you would have known before. That's my way of putting it. But what I'm happy about is that we could come back to reality. Because this is one of the things that bother me, is how we, as a people, Vincentians, some of we born here, all we know is St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but from the time some of we get to go away, and nothing wrong with making some kind of progress or improving our standards and so on. We turn a blind eye, or we overlook a lot of our national treasures, so to speak. I've had a problem with that. And even sometimes, and you know what it has caused me to do to stay away from? I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I just can't tolerate some of my people because some of them go away, like I said, and they come back here and they pretend not to know anything about Vincentian life or they scorn the things them. And what they're scorning is what is important to our own development. I remember a doctor came here from Sri Lanka and I met her and she was saying to me, since I come to this country, I see so many different kind of bush. If it was back in Sri Lanka, we making good use of that. Right away, I got a lesson from that, you know? But I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Our feeling of not being appreciative of what is ours. And I remember Dr. Lockhart, he went to UWI and experimented and came up with that eye drug. Now I don't even hear nothing more about him. Now we have some Johnny come lately, and they are in charge of, I'm talking about out of marijuana and all that stuff. Huh? Where's Dr. Lockhart? I'm not sure if he died and all of that. But the point I'm making here, we have to learn to appreciate what is ours, who we are. But you see, some of us get caught up in this society thing, and hence the reason why we are living this kind of life. Some of us feel we're better than some. So I'm just exposing that part of us because I'm terribly, terribly annoyed. And Erd raised something about his mother. I didn't even know she went through all of that because I thought the Ballantyne family, I know it's a big sporting family, and I know what the role that Gloria played in her time. And of course, I could understand what happened there. Thank God, in my family, we were able to see the death of our mother and father peacefully because we never tolerated separating from them and putting them in some kind of home. I don't know what's going to become of me, but whatever happened, happened. But I am happy that as a family, we should be able to take care of our family. But, success, they say, we feel we are so successful that turns into ignorance, if you want to call it that, or we give up on our mothers and fathers and that sort of thing. One thing I would like to ask Dr. Leacock as well, something that I've been busting my brain over. In our time growing up, when you hear about a murder, a killing, however you want to call it, it used to be far and few between. Is there something special about how to say that? Is there something special how we killing one another now? How we murdering? Like I heard somebody walking in the street in Layu this morning.
You don't expect me to answer that, right, Dave?
Yeah, that probably for next week. Because we are not.
I wouldn't have the answer. I wouldn't have the answer to that.
I mentioned that by the way, but
yes.
I just asked the
Yeah,
question
but we are running out of time.
Murdered
we are running
in
out
this
of time,
country.
Dave.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Dave, just in response to you, one of the sad things is, and you talk about Scotland, the Botanic Gardens in St. Vincent the Grenadines was established to produce medicines for the British Navy in the Caribbean. And we don't even have any archives in St. Vincent about the medicinal things that were produced from the Botanic Gardens. We don't even have a seed bank at the Botanic Gardens. These are some of the deficiencies we have in the country. This is where it should be. This is a historical first garden in the world. When somebody go there to say these plants and all these medicinal plants here, they could take them to a room and an exhibition and say, and to have a seed bank and an herbal bank and books about herbal medicine, etc. and so forth. Those should be part of our heritage. We don't have them. Right? And I said this
There's
loud for
always
whoever is
tomorrow.
in government.
We got somebody on the line. Bongo Shaka. Your turn to burn.
Yeah, greetings.
Make it short,
to you,
we don't
brother
have much
Paul.
time. We don't have much time. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to answer this. Is thought I'm trying to get in something very important. Good evening, brother Leacock, whoever you are there in Europe, and the other brethren them on the panel, brother Doug, and the rest listeners. You're speaking of dimensions, so on, Alzheimer's and so forth. But Doc, we have the coconut oil here, right? Now, I'm speaking specifically about virgin coconut oil that never go through no heating process, because you can make extract oil from coconut like that, right? What I discover, there's a component within that virgin coconut oil. But Brother Leacock, I was trying for a very long time to recall the name, the medicinal name, right, that they give it. But I refuse to a program about 2 or 3 years ago. About 3 times I heard some scientists, neurologists, other psychologists, psychiatrists, with a heavy panel discussion on BBC and I, but it's way in the morning, like 2 and 3 o'clock. I do set up when they have these program in projection. I make sure listen them. And what I discovered, they said that they discover a component within the virgin coconut oil that it helps to reduce Alzheimer's and dementia people. Okay, the neurologist explain about the neurology in the brain and so on, neurons. As I say, we don't have much time, but just to give
Was
people a
that
grip about.
linolenic or linoleic acid?
Yeah, okay, right. So what they discovered, they have done tests on it. But Brother Leacock, not to say putting you down because we need all form of doctor, but I think within the world that they put down a lot of herbal doctors or natural doctors, naturopath doctors, naturopath doctors, right? That's the name. And you have to search and get the information. And some of the things that handed down from the elder people, it very workable. So I'm advising people, don't wait till you get certain age. I have brethren that practice that for years, a Rasta brethren, and his brain is very sharp, So you drink that oil, especially when you go in and rest up that, when your brain, everything is relaxed and so on. And it trigger up the neurons and so on, that helps in memory and so on. And I think it's very important. So people should try to work it. Maybe a day you can call and say, okay, I've been taking it for a month, and call and say, well, what Bungo Shaka was saying, I prove it. I find a bit more remembering stuff, I used to forget certain stuff easily and so on. So it's very important, eh? And
Well,
you see what
Bungo,
it just,
that
yeah,
what
brother.
you're mentioning there, right? One of the best studies ever done on coconut oil has been done by the University of the West Indies. Dave was just mentioning about Dr. whoever it is there. The 3 top scientists at the School of Agriculture in Trinidad were Vincentians. And they produced an article, and this goes back 40 years, and it's published in the university, in the thing called the Kajanas, about the benefits of coconut oil. But if I link that to the guy who was saying what's happening with us in these days, if it's by design, when the Americans wanted to produce maize oil, they took out a nasty campaign against coconut oil. Yes?
That's true.
Saying that it was unsaturated, it was calling clog of the arteries, etc. and so forth. That has gone full circles now where we realize that coconut oil is far more beneficial to the human being than the corn oil and all the maize oil and the other thing that's being produced. And that this saturated fats that they're talking about that is present in coconut oil is in fact far more beneficial to us and our brains than some of the other oils. So there's lots of science and evidence about that. Undisputable sciences done at the University of West Indies. But that's the point I'm making. They can go further. And we go to CARICOM and we talk a lot of glab things. And this is the things that I'm saying. We should have a well-documented science and archives about all the herbal and traditional medicines of the Caribbean some way. It might exist. I don't know. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you because at the CARICOM level, as you put it, the university have been doing that research for quite a amount of years. And if the CARICOM government take the incentive to push it, because they're speaking many times of the non-communicable disease in the Caribbean and obesity and so forth, right? And could promote that coconut because it millions of dollars comes in here, it goes out here with the importation oil, especially that so-called soybean. Just chemicals and just some coloring. And people have to be mindful. But if we can reduce the price of coconut oil, have a larger production of it. I know people. I went to Leeward the other day, last Sunday ago, in Pitwedell. I have a Rasta daughter there. Ras Carlos, everybody in the Leeward know him, who had passed on. His daughter does a lot of coconut oil, and you can get the virgin coconut oil also. She's serious with
But
it, Old chat.
but Bongo Shaka, we
Yeah.
we have we have all these oils and stuff like that in the islands, and as Dr. Leacock said, the American make a nasty campaign against us. But we know the truth now, and what is stopping us from opening up a coconut oil factory. We have the coconut production. It is going down, but people will still produce coconut like what they used to do before, and
The
we could do
largest
all of this. But
in the
it,
world.
it is it is our it is a failure of CARICOM, which I think should be abandoned because they go and have all this meeting for 50 years and they produce very little positivity over the 50 years. We could do it with just the university without CARICOM. The leaders of CARICOM, all of them want to be king of their own castle, and they go and bad talk each other when they don't talk. I am opting for St. Vincent and Grenadines next government to pull out the CARICOM.
Many
All
are
right,
many
we gotta. I
politics
gotta wrap
island.
up. I gotta wrap up. I gotta wrap up. I can't even wait for you to answer to that. Really have to wrap up. Thanks.
Yeah, well,
Thanks.
maybe on another
Another thing.
occasion,
All right. Okay.
but
Take
yeah.
care. All right, gentlemen. If you could give me the shortest wrap up possible, because time is of the essence here. Dr. Leacock.
I wanted to wrap up, but we haven't dealt with any politics today. But I understand there's been another murder, and Randy Cater calling this week speaking about all the giving away of lumber, galvanized, etc., and to saying that it is an illegal process. But I just want to tie it in the fact that the government is what is promoting the illegality, and therefore the people assume that they could contravene the law, and that gives rise to permissiveness, and permissiveness is what is driving crime in St. Vincent. A man feels that he could walk up to you and shoot you, and you'll get it because that sort of respect for law and order does not exist in our country. So that's the point I wanted to make, basically, and probably would have taken the power day, but I'm making it as we go. There is a role for endogenous products, and we spent 750,000 for the emancipation, the cricket. Think of what that could have done in reestablishing an indigenous coconut oil industry in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And it's on the eve of an election.
Doug Howard. Doug Howard, you there?
Yes, Carlisle, I'm here, and
Yeah.
I just want to say, our health is our wealth, especially when we start to get a little older in life, and we need to take better care of our health. But our youths need to take better care of their health now so they won't wind up in some of the non-communicable diseases that is spreading like wildfire throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines and all these other islands of the Eastern Caribbean and the wider world. They don't exercise, they don't eat good. Leave the people junk food alone. Go back to your natural food. Get get the right amount of sleep. Stay off of your tablet and your telephone when night come. Instead of being up all night, you're tired when you wake up in the morning and those kind of stuff. You got to get your 8 hours of sleep. Now I could be on my tablets in the night, but then I could sleep in the day. A lot of people can't do that because they're out doing what they have to do. And I am telling you, Carlisle, I am telling you, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in particularly, will be better off today with the non-communicable disease. And one of the things that I advocating is to get rid of the Unity Labour Party so we could put in a party that could help us get back to where we want to be. Have a blessed day.
All right, thank you. They go for a blast with Jennifer Sheraton.
When all is said and done, Jennifer Shiverton's Wholesale remains the one to be reckoned with. It's the place for the best in mattresses in all sizes, upholstery foam for your cushions and seats in all sizes, all types of pillows, toilet tissue, a long range of soft drinks including Futa, Buster, Orchard, canned and bottled Coca-Cola and Sprite, and Trini fresh orange juice, plus the very best saltfish on the market, all priced to meet your pocket. It's located opposite Greenfinger at Upper Middle Street in Kingstown and opens Mondays to Saturdays, 7:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. It's the place where quality matters and the price on your side. Jennifer Shiverton's Wholesale. Call 456-2814. That's 456-2814.
Welcome to Subway, where you can always have it your way. My name is Stacy. What can I make for you?
Hey, Stacy. I'll have a chicken teriyaki salad. All veggies, please. And for my daughter, Naomi, a pizza. Naomi, what would you like to have on your pizza?
Pepperoni bacon.
They've got tomatoes as well.
Pepperoni bacon.
What about some fresh onions, corn, pineapple?
Pepperoni bacon.
Naomi, you can also have olives, jalapeno, extra meat.
Nope. Pepperoni bacon.
Stacy, can I have one chicken teriyaki salad, all veggies, please, and a pizza with pepperoni and bacon?
You can have it your way.
Come into our uptown or downtown location today or order on your favorite delivery app. Subway. Have it your way.
We would like to say that Captain Bligh XO aged rum is the best rum in the world. And now we can. Voted the world's best rum at the World Rum Awards 2014, Captain Bligh XO aged rum. World class in a glass.
Air filters, oil filters, fuel filters, disc pads and brake shoes, clutch disc, pressure plates, rotor plates, engine parts, fan belts, timing belts, oil seals, spark plugs, radiators, radiator hoses, water pumps, universal joints, suspension parts, KYB Japanese shocks for Toyota, Nissan and Suzuki, tie rods, rack ends, ball joints. You can also get accessories, cleaning supplies, polishes, titanium tint, black tint, Valvoline motor oils, Toyota and Honda motor oils, transmission fluids, Michelin wiper blades, headlights, corner lights, HID kits, HID bulbs and ballast, LED bulbs, and much, much more can be had at Automax Auto Parts. Automax goes the extra mile and spend the extra dollar to ensure that you get first quality Japanese auto parts. Come see the difference at our showroom opposite the basketball court in Camden Park. Call us at 458-2000 or 529-2070. Visit us on Facebook, Automax Auto Parts. Drive the extra mile to get the best first quality auto parts.
Please note that we open on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
I passed by a brethren the other day. If you see he plays, rat and cockroach racing, mosquito fighting one another for come knee in your ears, and the amount of woodlice I see, I had to wonder if them been in the wood with no attack and Billy Ark. I said, bye, Carl Flick.
For the eradication of pests, Flick is your answer. Before and after construction of your domestic and commercial buildings, Flick uses environmentally safe chemicals and keep washrooms fresh with the Aroma Odor Control and the FemCare sanitary disposal systems. Call Flick Pest Control today at 457-1857 or click www.flickpestcontrol.com.
Introducing 2 new Instacash games. Yes, 2 more chances to win more money instantly from the National Lotteries Authority. Get the new $2 game, Win It All, where you can win up to $2,500. And there's Stacko Cash for $3 with a top prize of $5,000. Win It All and Stacko Cash. New Instacash games loaded with lots of prizes. Available at all Lotto agents. Instacash, so easy to play, and you can win instantly.
CTVIEW Saturday Show is also brought to you with the kind compliments of Express Data Systems. Express Data Systems, located Lower Kingstown Park in the vicinity of the Guides Hut next to Miss Ferdy's shop. Check them out for the HP DeskJet Advantage 2875 for only $395. Check them out also for the HP OfficeJet 7740 white format all-in-one printer, scanner, copier, and fax machine. There's a special price. Check them out for the HP i5 with 4 gigs of RAM and a 500 gigabyte hard drive for only $495. Express Data Systems 456-1128. Opening hours Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Flick Pest Control. Remember, one flick and they're gone. 457-1857. You got ants in your sugar pan, you got woodlice in your pocket. You flick a call. 457-1857. Or check them out at flickpestcontrol.com. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. For your Pedrex, for your Solo, for your Mountain Dew. for your Coca-Cola, for your Sprite, for your ginseng up, for your turbo, for your fruit, for your potatoes and onions. Classic Cola, 3 horses malt. For mattresses, for pillows, for your mattresses, for pillows, for foam for your marriage chairs. Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. You have a shop on the Leeward side. Yeah. Something you forget to buy in town. Call Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale now. 456-2814. And chances are you get it delivered. Wednesdays and Saturdays we deliver on the Leeward side. Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Windward side. 456-2814. Jennifer Cheverton Wholesale. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Jamar General. Best prices guaranteed. Jamar General. For your building electrical needs. For your PVC pipe and accessories. For your UPVC windows built, tried and tested for a tropical climate. Best prices guaranteed. Jamar General. Lower Middle Street, Kingstown. 457-2725. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of CNR Enterprises. CNR Enterprises. For your stationery and office supplies. For your Ensure. CNR Enterprises. 532-9372 is the number to call. Check them out also for orthopedically manufactured mattresses. Check them out for speaker parts and accessories. Check them out for stationery and office supplies. CNR Enterprises, second floor of the CNR building. Check them out for industrial size condiments, for your ketchup, for your mustard, for your mayonnaise, large size. And check them out also for your large size cornflakes, honey bunches of oats, almond cereal, and more. Check them out for Kirkland products, including almond milk, wholesale and retail. 532-9372 is the number to call. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Nai's International Logistics, Shipping, Packaging, and Moving. 7844-555600 in St. Vincent. New York City 347-500-9142. Or Boston 617-594-2283. When you can't wait and the barn when you need it now, Nai's International Logistics, Shipping, Packaging, and Moving. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here in CTVIEW Saturday Show. Tell them Carla says thank you. And of course, to advertise on CTVIEW Saturday Show, the number to call is 491-9140. Because it's when you do well. We look good, and when you do well, is when we feel good. Yep. Well, want to say it's been my pleasure being at your leisure, and God's willing, next week. God's willing, see you next week, Saturday. God's willing.
Research, yeah, that push is much better for the ladies' body structure. So when they feel in pain, oh ladies, don't be ashamed. Just come by me, I'll buy some bushes, surely ease your pain. I buy them seed and I leave. Body me eye, back and my left, yours them like. I buy them some seed and I leave. Body me eye, back and my left, yours them like. Cause I'm a soaker. I'm a soaker. I'm a doctor. Body me eye. I buy them some seed and a leaf. I buy them some part of my life in their life. feeling sick, don't rush them to no clinic. Just bring them by me, I give them the remedy. Say if they have a flu, yes I know just what to do. Say if they have asthma, I buy them some ganja. Say when they have a sneeze, I know how to get it is. I buy them seed and a leaf. God in me eye, part of my life, use them like. I buy them some seed and a leaf. God in me eye, part of my life, use them like. Cause I'm a soca. I'm a doctor. I buy them somebody, body me eye. I buy them some seed and a leaf. I buy them some part of my life, in a the life. Seed and a leaf, body me eye. Part of my life, just them like. In my pharmacy, I got medicine ready. If you want it, just sarsaparilla ground power. After pregnancy, coconut water and also she. If she feel funny, I buy shisha don't finish. I buy them seed and a leaf. Body me eye. Part of my life, just them like. I buy them some seed and a leaf. Body me eye. Part of my life, just them like. Cause I'm a soca. I'm a soca. I'm a doctor. I buy them somebody, body me eye. I buy them some seed and a leaf. I buy them some part of my life, in the life. Seed and a leaf, body me eye. Part of my life, just them like. I buy them some seed and a leaf, body me eye. Part of my life, just them like.